reports.
Lunga Olifant confirmed her suspension yesterday, but she slammed the department and Minister Sisisi Tolashe for the decision. Olifant says the minister believes she leaked the information to the Sunday Times, as well as previous reports by the city press. She also says officials are targeting her because of her links to previous minister Batabile Dlamini. But Olifant says the charges against her are trumped up because they are related to the Auditor General's findings related to the poor management of SASSA and a qualified audit. Olifant says the AG's findings have nothing to do with her and should be directed at the Director General. Babalo Ndenze, Eyewitness News.
An accused in the Senzo Meyiwa trial will learn this morning if he will be acquitted of the football star's murder at the Pretoria or as the Pretoria High Court is set to deliver judgment in his discharge application. Mthokoziseni Maphisa brought the application last month, arguing that the state has failed to prove its case against him. He is accused of being one of the 5 men who carried out the 2014 murder of the Bafana Bafana captain in Vosloorus on the East Rand. Meyiwa was shot while at the home of his girlfriend, singer Kelly Khumalo, who the state believes is the mastermind. Khomoto Modisa reports.
According to the state, Mthokoziseni Maphisa is one of the lookout men who were outside the home of Kelly Khumalo when Senzo Meyiwa was shot. They argue that Maphisa was implicated by one of the state's key witnesses, Constable Sizwe Zungu, who claimed to see him among his co-accused at the Basotho hostel before and moments after Meyiwa was killed. The state also points out that Zungu's account is corroborated by confessions signed by the alleged intruder, Bongani Ntanzi. But Maphisa's lawyers insist the state is clutching at straws, saying Zungu was not able to place Maphisa at the scene of Meyiwa's murder. This morning, Judge Ratha Mokgoatlheng will hand down his judgment on Maphisa's application for acquittal. If he's successful, the charges against him for the murder of Senzo Meyiwa will be dropped, but he'll continue to serve a life sentence for another murder that he was convicted of. Eyewitness News.
The former municipal manager linked to the murder of ANC politician Sindiso Makaqqa will return to court this morning, where the state will lead evidence in his application for bail. Stanley Kosana is charged with the 2017 murder of the councillor, whereas Kosana served as a municipal manager for the Umzimkhulu local municipality. Makaqqa was shot in July 2017 and died in September in a hospital. Kosana was arrested by the police's political task team, which was established in 2018, months after Makaqqa and other politicians were killed in KZN. The accused will return to the Umzimkhulu Magistrates Court, where the prosecution will continue arguments that he be granted bail. Nhlanhla Mabaso reports.
During the previous court appearance last week, the accused Stanley Kosana concluded his testimony as he fights for bail in the high-profile murder case. He refused to answer some of the critical questions by the prosecutor in relation to the alleged involvement in the Makaqqa murder case, and even failed to provide circumstantial reasons as to why he should be granted bail. State Prosecutor Advocate Lawrence Gaba argued that even 8 years after Makaqqa was killed, community members are still demanding justice for him.
The court should listen to that cry. The court should listen to that community. You have avoided prosecution for so long, Mrs. Kosana, but they are not giving up.
Gaba argued that Kosana should be denied bail in order to stand trial with the rest of the accused. This morning, the prosecution will submit its opposing affidavit. An investigating officer is also expected on the stand. Nhlanhla Mabaso, Eyewitness News.
And survivors of an earthquake that flattened villages in eastern Afghanistan have spent the night in the open as rescuers worked to pull victims from the rubble. A 6-magnitude earthquake struck just before midnight Sunday, with the worst of the destruction in Kunar province, which borders Pakistan. More than 800 people have died in the disaster. Afghanistan is one of the poorest countries in the world, facing a protracted humanitarian crisis and the influx of millions of Afghans forced back to the country by neighbors Pakistan and Iran in recent years. Gold is trading at $3,496.28 an ounce. The rand is at 17.64 to the dollar, 23.86 to the pound, 20.62 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $68.45 a barrel.
And in the traffic in Montana Park, a major accident seen on the N1 South near Sefakomaghato exit. It is causing delays. Please be on the lookout there. About a 15-minute hold up while traveling on the N12 East. We've got delays between the Elands Interchange and Fort Trucker Road.
A fine day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs of 30 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. The Social Development Department says the suspension of long-serving spokesperson Lunga Olifant is to allow an investigation against her without interference.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
702.
Live
On the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856
92.7
and 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
Six minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to it. You're on 702. Great to have you with us. I'm Thabo Shalemashal. I am standing in for Clement Manyathela. We're together till 12. Thank you so much for spending time with us, and keep those conversations going as you had in the previous show, as Clement was standing in for Bongani Pingwa on breakfast between 6 and 9. We intend continuing on that very same momentum of informing you and keeping you updated, as much as we would like also to be informed by you in order for us to get information about what is happening in your locality. I say that because we open with an open line, as is tradition on this show, that between 9 and 10, anything goes. Open line, anything on your mind. I truly would love to hear from you about what's happening in your spaces. You don't have to confine yourself to what's happening in the media space, the headlines that are there, newspaper stories, news articles on your screens, on your radio. It could be anything that you want us to inform us about, especially in your community, because that's where the buzz of South Africa is at. Between 10 and 11 o'clock, we'll be in conversation with the Executive Mayor, Peter Teixeira, who's the Executive Mayor of Midvaal local municipality. You know that it's nestled between some parts of Johannesburg, some parts of Ekurhuleni, Vereeniging. It is in, of course, Mfuleni. This is one of the municipalities that are doing extremely well. What is their secret? What are they adding in their water to make sure that people are satisfied? We'll speak to them about that. If you are from that neck of the woods, please let us know. It could be that we are overlooking one or two things, and you hear us glazing the mayor, and there may be some outstanding issues that they need to deal with that we wouldn't know about. So that's why we always insist that you become our eyes and our ears. Let us know what is happening in that municipality. That's between 10 and 11. 11 and 11:30, the world of work, rethinking how to handle harassment in the workplace. It could be that your boss is too bossy. They're pushing you around, and even beyond what is necessary, even beyond the call of duty. They are stepping on your toes. They are contravening various labor relations conventions that are there and regulations, and you feel that this is just too much. Let us know. And how do you deal with it? And speaking of harassment, it would be amiss to do so without speaking about sexual harassment in a workplace as well. How is that affecting you? Could it be that you feel sexually harassed, but you're afraid to speak up? You are thinking, I can't. This is my bread and butter. This is my job. If I say that, I may offend my supervisor. I may offend my immediate superior, and I may offend my manager. And so I may not be in good books. The promotion I may be overlooked for that particular promotion that is due, or I'll be isolated, ostracized, and I'll feel like a pariah in my own workspace. I don't want to ruffle the feathers. I'd rather keep it just the way it is. And you feel uncomfortable. And you want to resign because of this thing. What are some of the things that you could do? And it could be that you're a boss. How do you handle this? If your employee comes to you, perhaps not complaining about you per se, but complaining about someone else and saying, how this guy looks at me at work, I feel really uncomfortable. He's always complimenting me unnecessarily and adding a little bit of spice that is making me uncomfortable. And how do you deal with that? What is the right way of doing that? The law, of course, says one thing, but as a manager, what do you do at work? I would love to hear from you about that much later on. Are you one of those people who loves downing a nice cold energy drink after a very hectic day or during work, or just to stay pumped and energized and enthused? You just grab one of those colorful energy drinks and you down it just to keep yourself going. There could be some dangers that are associated with that. You know that. Well, I'm the funny one to speak because I do enjoy an energy drink every now and then to keep me going, because it does get a little bit tough sometimes, where you need to put in extra hours. And I'd be thinking, okay, I'd be driving after this, so I need a little bit of energy. So I would be taking an energy drink. But it's according to experts, this is not a good habit at all. There are some effects that are undesirable for our bodies. So make sure that you are tuned in for that conversation just after 11:30. For now, on the open line, the number hasn't changed. It's still the same, 072 702 1702. That's where you can send your text messages and your voice notes. And you can call us directly on 011-883-0702, 011-883-0702. Maybe I should just kick off, because I was lamenting, and Mandy Wiener, I have to mention that she also went to town with us and opened her eyes to this situation in Johannesburg of the mayor who opened the Lillian Ngoyi Road, formerly known as Bree Street. If you are as old as I am, you'd know when I talk about Bree Street, I'm talking about that very busy, or used to be busy street in central Johannesburg, where taxis used to ferry passengers to various parts of the CBD. And it would be a norm that it goes past that place. And it was a buzz of activity, businesses here and there, hawkers selling this and the other. And I think there were some nice outlets as well, if that was your kind of thing. But it was really a buzz with activity. And the explosion happened 2 years down the line. The street is still closed. And the mayor yesterday opened the closed street, and they said in 10 days' time it will be opened. That's just that for me. That is just that. Why would it take so long for such an important part of the CBD, where economic activity is so critical, where mobility of individuals going to work and home and connecting to other places? Why would you do that? Why would it take 2 years? And it's okay. It's okay. I mean, I'm sure engineers will call me, no, Tabo, you know nothing about engineering. In an ideal space, you would have an emergency situation. You would call in the experts, and you would consult intimately with the stakeholders, and you would say, how do we make sure that we are done with this thing in less than 6 months? Because this is not this is such an extraordinary situation. There's nothing ordinary about this. We'll be losing money as the city. We will be losing the essence of who we are. I mean, that's just Bree Street. Some time ago in Reimsach, there was one of the main streets as well. I think it was the HP Hendrik Potgieter Road. A part of it was closed as well. It took over a year to open that street. Over that road, that piece of road, over 1 year. And no one saw anything wrong with that, including, by the way, including the residents who would be using that road every single day. No one saw. And I'm just wondering, are we that kind of a country now, where we drag our feet for every little thing? And then we complain when politicians are treating us like second-class citizens. Is that who we are? To say that we are stomaching mediocrity is an overstatement, because it's not mediocrity. It's not even substandard. It is the worst of the worst that we have allowed ourselves to tolerate. Go to any township. You will never ever walk out without seeing a street with flowing sewage. And chances are it's been like that for weeks on end, despite people having in their phones reference numbers after complaining and registering complaints. And after a while, we get used to it. We just jump over the water. Now we know how to navigate around it. And we tell people, hey, don't use that street. Use the other one. Simply because now we are so used to it. We've become so numb to accepting the worst of the worst. It is just okay. Traffic lights are not working, and I don't want to sound bougie and all that. Traffic lights, and we're okay. We already know that, no, that traffic light hasn't been working for 4 weeks, and it's okay. I think we've already established that we do not have necessarily the best leadership ever. That we've established. But does it mean that the citizenry has also adopted the substandard of our leaders? Does it mean that we have lost our own standards and we have relinquished our responsibilities to the people who would take as long as possible to sort things out? Is that where we are? Please let me know. Chances are, if I were to come to a neck of the woods, there's something that's not working. Grass that's not been cut. It's been like that for months, for eons. It's been like that, and we have accepted that. So the question I'm asking you as a South African to you today: have you learned to live in a state of disarray and disrepair simply because it has existed for so long, and now we have accepted that this is who we are? What can we do? What kan ons doen? Swenzani, kunjalo. Re tla etsang, guys? Hi, Swenzani, what can we do? Take me out of my misery. Take me out of my misery. Let us know on 011-883-0702. That is this what we've accepted? So that maybe I should also accept it. Maybe we're the only ones who want what's best for our country. Maybe take us out of our misery and say, Tabo, join the queue. If you can't beat them, join them. This is the name of the club of the substandard. Stop complaining about it and wasting our time. We are happy with where we are. Yeah, we've spoken about the leaders. I'm talking about you. Yes, I'm talking about you now. We've established, I think we have exhausted this issue of leadership in our country. That's why I don't even want to venture speaking about the mayor and the executive mayor of the city of Johannesburg together with his team on the shoddy job, how long it took. I think we've established, we know that already. And right, we've also established that we don't want to vote them out. That we know. I'm talking about you now. Someone who lives here. You have to live with it. Is that the kind of place that you want for yourself? Let us know. 011-883-0702. Would love to hear from you about that. And as Clement had said, today there will be a memorial service for the great late Tsidi Madia, and we will be hosting it here at Prime Media. And we will continue to pass the message of condolences, regards, and warm sentiments to Tsidi and her family, friends, and everyone else that was touched by her life so beautifully. So that will continue. But let us know. I'm happy to hear from you. And again, I did say it's an open line. How I often try to deal with an open line is to allow you to tell us what's happening in your surroundings, because at times we miss it in the media space. We miss a big chunk of your reality. I'd love to hear from you about your reality. But lastly, this thing called what is it? Load reduction. It's happening almost every single day. Ne? We are also used to it. It's also okay. It is just fine with us. It's not an abnormality of sorts. It's not an anomaly of sorts. It's not something that is out of kilter, something that is completely strange. The problem with that is that once we accept the de-escalating standards, they will continue to decline. And before we know it, the bottom of the barrel will be the benchmark for ourselves. And that we will have to leave behind for our children. and we must own up and say, we said nothing. We did nothing. We accepted low standards. Now, here, we are giving you the worst of the worst because we accepted it. The show has officially begun. Abel is here. He's a technical producer. He's got many screens in front of him, pressing the buttons, making sure that you and I are connecting. Sinazo is the head chef together with Zintle. They are making sure that we connect, and they have put the beautiful content that I will be presenting to you. They are the bosses of the show. And of course, you, the main ingredient. We can't do it without you. You could be anywhere else. You always choose us, and we don't take that lightly. Hence, we open the lines for you to have your say because you're the driver of the show. Abel, the show has just begun, 21 after 9.
For more about 702,
Go to primemediaplus.com.
Straight to the calls. Lebo in Johannesburg. Morning, Lebo.
Morning, how are you?
I'm free. How's it going?
I'm okay. I just wanted to maybe give your listeners clarity in terms of Lillian Goy, why it took so long, because I feel the media is not telling the full story of that road. Why exploded was not a road. It was the tunnel under the road. So the first phase involved building a tunnel under the road, 500-meter long tunnel, which is 4 meters wide and 3 meters high. That's a concrete tunnel. There is no way that can take 2 months or 3 months. That was an extensive process. There was also a first contractor who didn't perform well. And the cancelling of a contract is not a one-day thing. It's a legal process. So obviously, there are delays in doing that. But when you see a road, you should know the process of building the road. So I think it's unfair to just look at the final picture without going into details of the actual story of the road.
Yeah, I think if, Lebo, you must also do justice to us. I think you also need to be fair a little bit. EWN has ventilated ad nauseum with all those details. Even yesterday, Mandy Wina touched on it extensively. In various ops touched on it. We have touched on all those technicalities. We have done all of that. So to say that media chooses this or the other, you are now being unfair because unless you're talking, allow me to finish, please, because I did the same for you patiently, if you don't mind. Yeah. So it's not that unless you're talking about other media houses that I cannot account for, but here we have ventilated on all of that. And now on the open line, my question, and I'm glad that you've also considered to the issue of the contractor. How many times have we heard about contractors who are not completing their jobs despite having followed rightful processes? And no one is saying in 2 months or 3 months, but in a way that would say to all of us, this is an emergency. If you need to speak to Treasury directly, if you have to do deviations exist. Deviations exist, Mama. And I think I don't want to out you. I can hear the voice. I don't want to out you. It would be unethical of me. I think you know when I say deviation exists. So all I'm trying to say to you is that let us also be fair to the tax-paying public when we are doing this thing. That if there was proper, committed leadership, results would be different and timeframes would be more considerate towards service delivery. I'm now listening to you, Lebo. I'm not going to interrupt you.
Okay, thank you. You did say the leadership, but I'm trying to explain that some of these things, like a program, a construction has a program, and then this program is given to the leadership, and then this issues of cancelling contracts is not foreseen in the early part of the contract. Hence, extensions do happen. Extensions were communicated, and then this process of cancelling a contractor was done. And it's not a one-day thing. It takes time. Once that was completed, and then we went into getting a new contractor who then started to do the road, started with the tunnel. So I don't understand when people have their own timeline.
Yeah.
which are not what the project timelines are.
Yeah.
This, yes, I understand people are frustrated, but construction has a program which you have to follow to ensure construction is.
Yeah.
So now if people want something which takes a year to happen in 6 months, then you should
I have
consider
to
the
go now.
safety of the contractor. Yes.
Sure. I think I've fairly given you an opportunity, but in closing, I would love to say the same thing happened in that Ramsach Road, where the first contractor didn't do their job, and then the second one.
I said that one as well, because I was also involved in it.
Yeah. So I'm saying, so we don't learn from our mistakes, right? All these things are new. When they happen, we must pretend they are new all over. Whilst we know what contractors can do, we don't take measures. That's because now we have learned. I don't think it was
I'm saying the same contractors all the time.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we should do due diligence. We should.
But unfortunately, these things you can only know when the contractor is not performing. You can't know in advance. They submit letters, they submit to the bid adjudication committee.
Yes.
They submit documents. So you can't give them a practical to say complete this first. Then we know if you can do the bigger work. You can only know when you give them the chance. And then they fail. And then you terminate it. And it takes a year to terminate a contract.
And the facts are that over the course of more than 2 years, it was 172 million rand project that now ballooned to 215 million. And it was 40. Allow me, Lebo. You have so much intolerance to hearing other people speaking.
No, it's not that.
Okay, all right. Okay, Lebo. I think let's listen on the radio so that it's not a tennis match. Let's allow Tulani to also come in. Ne? Thank you so much for your call. I appreciate it. Tulani, you're in Centurion. Hi.
Hi, Tabo. I think two things. The first thing is that it would be interesting to get an engineer to tell us the cost of an asphalt road versus a paved block of brick road. Yes. As far as I recall, paved block roads are cheaper than those that are made out of asphalt. But what I heard this mayor saying yesterday is that this was more expensive, and I think that is actually not the case. And I'm speaking from a very intimate knowledge of this. I was part of that space. So it would be interesting, perhaps since I have left that space, maybe things have changed. But as far as I recall, a road that is made out of paved bricks is actually cheaper than that made out of asphalt.
Yeah.
But the other point that I wanted to make, Tabo, is you asked if this is what we have become accustomed to, and this is what we basically have resigned ourselves to. And the answer to that is yes. The only thing that could change this entire situation is if we were to change the electoral system of this country. We've all become disenchanted, and there's very little we can do. You can go to the polls, you can say go vote for whoever you want. You go to the polls, Tabo, you vote for whoever you want. But the reality of the matter is when there is this power sharing.
Yeah. Change it how, Tulane? Sorry to interrupt you. We're going to run out of time. I'm interested to hear you explain. Change it to what?
Well, change it to a constituency-based system as opposed to this party system that we have. Change it to a constituency-based system. In that case, then we will appoint people or we'll elect people that we know are going to serve the needs of the community and that we know.
But you can do that, especially, with local. Sorry, again, very quickly to add on what you said. With local government elections that are coming in 2026, and for time immemorial, you are able to vote for a candidate, an independent candidate, and it has been like that for quite some time at the local government level. Tulani, you do know that, right?
Look, I do know that, but the reality of the matter is the playing field isn't basically fair for independent candidates. The reality of the matter is those that are put forward by their respective political parties are more likely to get more votes than independent candidates. They don't have the resources. They don't have the airtime, they don't get as much airtime and related matters. But I don't want to take a lot of your time. I wanted to make those 2 points. Thabo, thank you very much.
I really appreciate them. It's just that we're out of time. I wanted us to ventilate one or two other issues, but thanks, Thulani. Really appreciate it. It's exactly 9:30. Sfiso Zulu standing by to give us the very latest on Eyewitness News headlines. Good morning, Sfiso.
Thanks, Thabo. Good morning. An accused in the Senzo Meyiwa trial will learn this morning if he will be acquitted of the football star's murder, as the Pretoria High Court is set to deliver judgment in his discharge application. Mthokoziseni Maphisa brought the application last month, arguing that the state has failed to prove its case against him. He's one of the 5 people who are being accused of carrying out the 2014 murder of the Bafana Bafana captain in Vosloorus on the East Rand. The Western Cape High Court will today decide whether or not to bring down the number of legal teams in a case related to the decriminalization of sex work. 16 NGOs have made applications to argue in the case, which challenges the criminalization of sex work as unconstitutional. The Sex Worker Education and Advocacy Task Team yesterday asked the court to minimize the amount of legal teams arguing in the case. And Burkina Faso has passed a law banning homosexuality and insisting punishment of up to 5 years in jail, the latest in a clutch of African nations to pass anti-gay legislation. Homosexuality is illegal in around 30 African countries, but was not banned in Burkina Faso before the military seized power 3 years ago. And those are the headlines. This EWN and more at 10 or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by cars.co.za. Let's find what moves you. Amu, how do the roads look?
Well, in this particular moment, Thabo, we've got delays in the city of Tshwane. In fact, the N1 South between the N4 exit and Sefako has been closed off to traffic. This is due to that major accident scene. Please be on the lookout there. And then towards the Proof Plus interchange, we still have got delays. While traveling in Midrand, the N1 South remains heavily backed up between Samron Avenue and Olifant Road. There's also queuing traffic along the M1 South. This is between the Baku interchange and Corlett Drive. While traveling in Bedfordview, delays on the N12 West between Edenville Road and the Kilulis interchange. Out in South Crest, delays on the N12 East between the Elands interchange and Fort Fricker Road. I'll have more updates for you. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Hey, Jim, what's wrong? Hi, Bob. I'm just so confused. I'm trying to buy a car and I don't know where to stop. Well, have you tried to... have you tried to... Sorry, we're trying to do an advert.
Whatever car you want to buy or sell, cut through the and just go to cars.co.za and let's find what moves you. Cars.co.za.
If you want to know about the heart and art of jazz, look no further than the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz Festival, a grand ensemble of over 50 world-class acts across 4 stages for 3 whole days. That's right, from the 26th, 27th and 28th of September. The Sandton Convention Center will be demure and sophisticated as the fine Standard Bank Joy of Jazz 2025 takes you deep into the heart, the art and splendor of jazz. Take me there. Book your seat via Ticketmaster now.
Mzansi, your backyard just got better. Explore more for less because the Great South African Sale is coming with up to 50% off travel deals. From the breathtaking scenery to a beach picnic, camping in the wild, or the thrill of Gussie vibes, there's something for everyone. Book from 8 to 14 September 2025. Visit shortleft.co.za to book and travel later. After all, it's your country. Enjoy it, because nothing's more fun than a short left. #TravelWise Mzansi. T's and C's apply.
When it comes to protecting your workforce, trust the workwear brand that has been protecting workers for over 150 years, Sweetall. Sweetall has overalls and uniform solutions for every industry, so your team is safe, comfortable, and ready to tackle any challenge. Visit our new Boksburg showroom, shop A1 Atlas Road, Westwood, Boksburg, or go to sweetall.com today. Sweetall, we never let you down. Superior protective workwear since 1871.
Oh, hello. Let's do a little word association. I'll say some phrases, you see how they make you feel. Retirement, credit card balance, another interest rate hike. Still calm? Well then, you've got the F Factor. It's that special something that comes from having a clear financial plan to manage and protect your finances. If you broke into a sweat, you probably don't have it yet. Visit livewithconfidence.co.za to up your F Factor. Sanlam. Live with confidence. T's and C's apply. Sanlam Life is a licensed life insurer and authorized FSP.
702
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
25 minutes to 10 o'clock. Tabo in for Clement. Welcome to it. You're on 702. Really appreciate your time. And the open line continues on 011-883-0702. I've been neglecting to play some of your voice notes, and I should do that right away. But first, let me read some of the text messages that came through on the same number on 072-702-1702. Morning. The only way things in our country will be fixed very quickly. No more blue light brigades. Let them drive in their own vehicles to and from wherever. Be stuck in traffic, hitting the potholes. Furthermore, no more private hospitals, only government hospitals for all government employees. They would also see very quickly how things will improve drastically. And this comes from Ani in Centurion. This one says, Tibos, you've to charge at arrogant public representative. Who's that lady you're having a chat with? Shame on her. Did you also pick up that she's a public representative and holding her nose so that we shouldn't hear who she is? That's the stuff that we have to deal with. I mean, it's called democracy, right? 011-883-0702.
Morning, Tabo. Mapare here, report. I mean, I commend our homos when they read this news. They don't even laugh. Because I was like laughing when a person is handing themselves. We are happy that we are going to open next week, and we didn't reach our target, our main target, but we are happy that we are going to open next week. But how are you happy that you did not reach the target that you yourself set out to make? I mean, if I was a news reader, I would be like, some news I will skip.
I think they do that to make more money, because look in Japan, they can build an over 200-kilometer road in less than a month. So why can't we fix a road in less than 6 months?
Morning, Tabo. I'm a first-time caller to show you're doing. The problem with these delays in opening roads and that is that the ANC government, none of them have ever run their own businesses, legitimate businesses. And the problem is that they don't understand how time is money, and we don't have time to go and find detours or go and sit in offices the whole day waiting for paperwork to be sorted out by them. And they just don't realize how important time is for business people. And that's unfortunate, because they're just bringing the whole place down. Thank you, it's a
Morning, Tabo. Just saying that if we were run by a white man, our politicians were going to say because we are black, that's why we are being given this kind of treatment. This is something you get to the clinic, and the dirt around our environment. It's just something unbelievable. Like you said, really second-class citizen. That's how we've been treated. Thank you, man. It's Nimrod here. Good show.
Thanks very much, Nimrod. And if you've just joined us, it's an open line. We're discussing this, that, or the other, and we're reflecting on the opened but not opened Lilengoi Street, former Bree Street in the city centre, CBD of Johannesburg. And the mayor yesterday was there saying that it's going to be opened on the 12th of September, and it will be open for pedestrians and the vehicles, simply because it's been, I think, closed for quite some time. And the numbers are quite staggering as to how much has been spent already trying to sort out that particular road. I'm just trying to go back to them as I am talking to you right now, but I'll just grab them quickly from my screen. But the nature of the conversation really that I wanted us to have this morning, have we become numb? Have we accepted the state of disarray? the state of disrepair, the state of substandards that we have subjected ourselves to? Have we accepted that? So that I should know, and then I can join the rest of the queue. It bothers me truly as a South African that all these things are happening, and there are justifications given. There are reasons that don't make sense. We are meant to believe them, and if you don't, you're not a patriot. And we must just accept all of the stuff. And it's been 30 years. No, it's not enough. We needed more years. What sort of change were you thinking will take place in only 30 years? Our guys, let's do better for ourselves, not for anyone, not for vote, not for apartheid, for ourselves, just for us. Leave everything else, but for us. I mean, it truly sinks my heart. Go to Alex, just across the road right now. I promise you, you are going to find more than 5 streets with flowing water in a state of disrepair. Either there would be sewage also flowing and children jumping over it, and people are not agile, they are not enthused, there's no sense of emergency, there's no sense of urgency to fix this, that, and the other. You drive around, there's a traffic light that has not been working for months and months and months. And you also go at this place, you drive around, there are potholes, and now we are used to driving around these potholes. I think you do know that famous mayor in New York when he had Rudy Giuliani, when he had that very famous policy, the broken window policy, that it's those small things that culminate to setting the tone as to how we then look at ourselves. It's small things. You may think, oh, one small pothole doesn't mean anything. And so what? Yes, there's water flowing down there. So what? It culminates to something bigger. It starts with that. And the next thing, we would have accepted total pandemonium taking place in our country. So as a citizen, I'm asking you, have you accepted it? Is it okay with you? What do we do? What do we do? I'd love to hear from you. It's 18 minutes to 10 o'clock.
Good morning, Tabo. Carol here from Robindale. On the topic of have we accepted it all, I think we really have. It's a sense of being defeated because at the end of the day, it's literally everything that we're fighting against. You know, service delivery is nowhere to be found. You go to hospitals, those who go to government hospitals will tell you of the nightmares. You see crime, you report it, nothing gets done. You go to the shops, there is lack of service. You go, just literally everything is just literally falling apart. And I think for sanity's sake, and for one to be able to keep on going, you just get to a point where you tell yourself, it is what it is. Literally, what you cannot control, you just let go.
Yeah.
And I believe that's where most of us are, at least I am.
Yeah.
And it's a very sad place to be. Great show, Tabo. Thank you so much and have a good day.
I wish you the same, Carol. I wish you the same. I have a lovely day too. Davis in Bedfordview. Morning.
Hey, Tabo. How are you, brother?
Hey, I'm chilled. A little bit flustered. But okay. How are you, Davis?
Okay, thank you. I actually know you, but let's talk about that. Let's
Okay.
not talk about that. I meant to say.
Okay.
Tabo, listen. 6 months ago, I just started driving an Uber.
Yeah.
Let me tell you a little bit about Johannesburg, the CBD.
Yes.
In the CBD, what a mess in Johannesburg. Firstly, you're going to find the taxi drivers, they love their scopo. It's being prepared all over the city. Those guys are so dirty. Next to the person who's preparing meat for the taxi drivers, there's going to be a Mozambican girl with 10 other guys doing hair. Next to that one doing hair, there will be somebody, a black guy. It's always a black guy. I'm black myself. But it's always a black guy peeing on the wall. Next to that one, there's a homeless somebody sleeping with his dirty, smelly blanket. And trust me, everybody is doing their bit to litter. There is no observation of bylaws, nothing whatsoever, absolutely nothing. Then you come to the robots that never work, causing traffic jams everywhere with taxis doing as they please.
Yeah.
Tabo, this thing of black men peeing everywhere on public roads, in towns, it's disgusting. It happens everywhere. I saw it on Fenton at 2:30 in the afternoon on West Street. A black man opens his slip and pee. Our black guys, they pee everywhere and anywhere at any time.
Yeah.
Water flowing all over. I never drive a 10-minute trip without finding. Now I'm talking in suburbs.
Yeah.
I never drive 10 minutes without coming across water just catching out of the road.
Yeah.
It's a shame. The decay of our country is beyond thinking.
Dave, I'm glad that you were able to put on the table some very difficult discussions that we need to face up to, especially if we want to have honest discussions, honest talk platforms. We must put that on, and I'm glad that you were as explicit as that.
Actually,
as explicit as that, because that is such a norm that people would just pee everywhere. People would just go to a wall and just pee, and as if it's normal. We've normalized that, and I'm sorry.
We have normalized
I
that.
apologize to the ladies who are listening and the kids who are listening. It's not meant to offend anyone, but if we were to be honest, that issue that you've brought up, I mean, I do some work outside the country, Dave, and in some countries like Botswana, where you don't see much of that at all. And it's just literally a stone throw from us. You don't see people doing that. You don't see doing that.
When I mentioned it to one of my passengers, who happened to be a lady, because we were seeing one peeing, I'm like, this really disgusts me. He was like, where have you been? Welcome. This happens everywhere. It's been happening forever. And I'm like, why can't black people, really black men, hold themselves like the black ladies do? You never see a black lady do it. Why only the black guy? And then this thing of public drinking, it contributes a lot to that.
Exactly.
There are no public toilets anywhere. The only way you can find a public toilet is when you go to a mall or to a garage. There are no public toilets. People are throwing things, tossing things
all
out
around.
of their car.
Dave, we have to leave it at
normal.
that, bro. We have to leave it. But always lovely talking to you. Now I've picked up who I'm speaking to. Dave, thanks very much for the call. It's been quite a while. Really appreciate it. 13 minutes to 10 o'clock.
702 Afternoons.
With Relebogile Maboja, 1 to 3 p.m.
I want to know your thoughts, particularly around parents who are frustrated saying, the school says they can't accommodate me. The school says we must find a special school. But then how do you prepare your child for a world where there are no special employers and special this?
A lot of families and a lot of parents do deny the fact that there's something not typical with their child, and they basically hide the fact or they deny the fact, and that leads to so many more issues in life. And you look at individuals around us and I think, wow, if they had have been diagnosed with a condition when they were younger, their entire journey would have been different.
The founder and CEO of BabyYumYum.com, Amanda Rogeli.
702 Afternoons.
With Relebogile Maboja.
Let's walk the talk.
Pneumococcal disease can strike at any time, especially if you live with a chronic condition or have weakened immunity. If you're 19 and older with the chronic disease, vaccination can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia. The risk increases for people 65 and older, and vaccination is advised to help prevent serious illness. Ask your healthcare professional about pneumococcal vaccination. Don't wait. Vaccinate. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Welcome to the brand new days.
Sail the world with Norwegian Cruise Line, with more to see, more to do, and more to enjoy. Plus, upgrade your holiday with NCL's More at Sea for premium beverages, specialty dining, and much more. Think international cruising. Think NCL. For the best deals available, visit ncl.com or contact your travel agent. Restrictions apply.
Welcome to the brand new days.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
7:02 indeed. Thabo Mashao in for Clement Manyathela. Together with you till 12. And we are on an open line right now. Whatever it is that you want to venture forth, you're most welcome to do so. Let's go to some of the text messages, Abel, that came on 0727021702. Subsequently, we'll touch on the voice notes. This one says, I stay at a corner house in Vetboki. Next to my house is a small bush. Really? I don't know who told the residents that this is a dumping ground. Now that it's summer, every weekend I'll be fighting their workers not to dump. SA citizens must be happy with the destruction of their country as they keep voting for the corrupt and incompetent ANC. Oh, man, let's not take it there. Let's not take it there. This one says, if we've been led in circles for 30 years by politicians, doesn't it make sense that our country must not be left in political hands? It's a great question. It's a great question from Chad in Joburg South. Hi, Thabo. Great topic about accepting the deteriorating services and environmental and the environment we live in. COJ repeatedly asks, we report potholes, water leaks, etc., but repairs do not get done. Have potholes matters been outstanding for quite some time since 2023. I followed up 19 times since then, and here we sit. I've given up reporting these problems. I suppose that's the giving up part of it that I also don't understand, but I can sympathize with it, because if we keep knocking at a door and it doesn't open, what do we do? But let's go to their voice notes on 072-702-1702.
Good morning, Thabo. Looking forward to a great show. Olani here from Midvaal. Hey, Thabo. The sad reality is that I am not happy about the situation, but I've learned to live with the fact that there's not much that I can do other than just trying to channel my voice with little hope that anything will change. It's one of those serenity statements that one says, accept what you don't have control and influence over and try and live with it. I think that's me in a nutshell. Thanks, Thabo.
Thabo. Morning. Thabo, it's not that we've lowered standards, right? But it's constantly seeing that there's no way of holding these guys accountable, right? I mean, you ask about roads to say if you were to come to our parts and neck of the woods, you'd probably find something wrong. You are sewage spilling, potholes. You true. I, for one, am passionate about parks. Right? A simple thing as a park for recreational. I think that's one of the determining signs to see what kind of society we live in. If a simple thing, simple right of enjoyment as a park can't be well maintained, it's a problem. Where must kids go? So it's just those things. I think we just scattered. We're tired. We're just tired of whatever's happening. Thanks, Tom.
Good morning, Mr. Mashao. This is Theo from Etuduzo. Look, Mr. Mashao, I think in a way we are being unfair to that project, Lilian Goy. Look, even after the announcement by the mayor in February, there was a lot of rainy days when the contract could not actually proceed, and on those days, and that caused a lot of delays, because even after the rainy days, there's some time when they have to actually wait for water to subside or even deal with water that is flooded under the road. So it's unfair. It's unfair by all means.
Yeah, you see, I'm happy to absorb your criticism. I'm happy to deal with that. All I'm saying is that we need to get to a point where we prioritize and are extremely cognizant of such projects that would need expertise, and we expedite execution beyond the ordinary expectation of what it would have been if it was not a necessity. So what I'm trying to say is, if we don't put measures into place to say that, well, there's a problem, God forbid, in Sandton, and it's going to take 4 years for us to fix ordinarily. And if we don't have visionary leaders to say, whoa, we can't spend 4 years fixing that problem in Sandton. Sandton is way too important for the city. Can we not find a solution in a year at least and cover the basis, do deviations if we have to? Then we are not going to be a leading city at all. We are not going to be a leading country at all. I mean, you go to China, you go to Japan, people are thinking outside the box. Here we are, excusing mediocrity and telling us, oh no, the projects always take this long. How are we going to be a leader of society somewhere in the world if we are confined to how things conventionally work? And not just conventionally, we also add a number of delays there too. But before I go to Mohammed, I mean, I want to say this, and I don't say this mainly to be cancelled or for controversy or to get you irritated and to get you to insult me. This is not why I'm saying it. I'm saying it because I think it's something that needs to be said, and I need to say it. The unfortunate part about the incompetencies that we've seen, and not to say nothing has happened in the last 30 years, because that would be a lie. I'm not saying that. There are some great projects that have taken place. Children getting feeding schemes at school and enjoying their only meal. A lot has happened. But the dark cloud of inefficiency looms heavily over this democracy, and we cannot ignore it. And unfortunately, all those issues of incompetency, inefficiency, unwillingness to do what's right by the people who voted you into power, unfortunately, they give an impression that misperception perpetuated by Fevut and his followers, that black people are incompetent, they give that some credence. They give that statement some credence. Although it's not true, but they give it some credence. That's not what we want. That's not what we want. We should be saying we've been waiting to run the country to show how competent, how brilliant, how amazing, how talented and gifted we are. That's what we should be saying. But unfortunately, the contrary will apply and will be misperceived if we don't change all of this by actions, not words. Mohammed, you wanted to say something?
Yes, very quick now.
Yeah.
What you just said, the dark cloud, that dark cloud of incompetence and corruption, that's the unfortunate reality. But I just want to do a comparison. If you look at the Middle East, you have Qatar, for example, you have the Dubai, the UAE. They have mineral wealth. Their mineral wealth is oil from the ground. They will give, and believe me, because I travel often there, I have a daughter living there also. They will give every citizen of the UAE and Qatar and the other Arab countries as well. They will give every citizen an allowance because they're getting the wealth from the ground. They give them the allowances. They make each one an instant millionaire. When they're born already, they're getting allowances.
Yeah.
They get a marriage allowance, they get a car allowance, house allowance.
Yes.
Why? Because it belongs to the people.
Mohammed, we have to leave it at that. 2 minutes to 10.
702 delivers
on the matters that matter to you.
Hi, this is Julia de Bruin from Sandton. I like 702 because it's even-handed. Everybody and anybody can phone in, express their opinion, and everybody is treated with respect. So you get a good balanced view of everything, lots of information, lots of interesting things that you would never have otherwise known about. You can find out via 702. Whether you start listening at 5 a.m. if you can't sleep, or whether you're still awake at night at 10 to 12 with all kids.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts.
so we can deliver more on what matters to you.
702 listens.
Let's walk the talk.
Business is unpredictable. Your insurance costs shouldn't be. With Outsurance Business, when you claim, your excess is a fixed amount, not a percentage of the claim. So, no surprises. For pharmacies, restaurants, beauty salons, convenience stores, and other industries, Outsurance Business are trusted experts in business insurance. And it's so easy to switch. Get a quote today. Call 08600 60,000 or visit outsurance.co.za. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's and C's and information online.
Are you looking for the best savings on spectacles? At Specsavers, enjoy 1,500 Rand off when you get tested at South Africa's trusted and most established optical group. Get 1,500 Rand off all frames in store, or use your 1,500 Rand off on our leading lens enhancements, such as drive light lenses that reduce artificial glare whilst driving. Book online or call your nearest store today. Affordable eye care, Specsavers. T's and C's apply.
To walk the talk is to turn words into meaningful actions. And it's what we at 702 are committed to doing every day. We're also committed to following the rules set out by the Broadcasting Complaints Commission's Code of Conduct. To give you balanced programming, fair comment, and accurate news. But if we stumble along the way and you feel we're not living up to the code, let us know on comment@702.co.za. And if after that you're still not happy, you can direct your complaint in writing to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission, PO Box 412365, Craig Hall 2024. For more, visit bccsa.co.za.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. An accused in the Senzo Meyiwa trial will learn this morning if he will be acquitted of the football star's murder, as the Pretoria High Court is set to deliver judgment in his discharge application. Mthokoziseni Maphisa brought the application last month, arguing that the state has failed to prove its case against him. He's accused of being one of 5 men who carried out the 2014 murder of the Bafana Bafana captain in Vosloorus on the East Rand. Meyiwa was shot while at the home of his girlfriend, singer Kelly Khumalo, who the state believes is the mastermind. Khomozo Modise reports.
According to the state, Mthokoziseni Maphisa is one of the lookout men who were outside the home of Kelly Khumalo when Senzo Meyiwa was shot. They argue that Maphisa was implicated by one of the state's key witnesses, Constable Sizwe Zungu, who claimed to see him among his co-accused at the Basotho hostel before and moments after Meyiwa was killed. The state also points out that Zungu's account is corroborated by confessions signed by the alleged intruder, Bongani Ntanzi. But Maphisa's lawyers insist the state is clutching at straws, saying Zungu was not able to place Maphisa at the scene of Meyiwa's murder. This morning, Judge Ratha Mokgoatleng will hand down his judgment on Maphisa's application for acquittal. If he's successful, the charges against him for the murder of Senzo Meyiwa will be dropped, but he'll continue to serve a life sentence for another murder that he was convicted of. Eyewitness News.
The former municipal manager linked to the murder of ANC politician Sindiso Makaqqa will return to court this morning, where the state will lead evidence in his application for bail. Stanley Kosana is charged with the 2017 murder of the councillor, whereas Kosana served as a municipal manager for the Umzimkhulu local municipality. Makaqqa was shot in July 2017 and died in September in hospital. Kosana was nabbed by the police's political task team, which was established in 2018, months after Makaqqa and other politicians were killed in KwaZulu-Natal. The accused will return to the Umzimkhulu Magistrates Court, where the prosecutions will continue arguments that he be granted bail. Nhlanhla Mabaso reports.
During the previous court appearance last week, the accused, Stanley Kosana, concluded his testimony as he fights for bail in the high-profile murder case. He refused to answer some of the critical questions by the prosecutor in relation to the alleged involvement in the Makaqqa murder case, and even failed to provide circumstantial reasons as to why he should be granted bail. State Prosecutor Advocate Lawrence Gaba argued that even 8 years after Makaqqa was killed, community members are still demanding justice for him.
The court should listen to that cry. The court should listen to that community. You have avoided prosecution for so long with this Kosana, but they are not giving up.
Gaba argued that Kosana should be denied bail in order to stand trial with the rest of the accused. This morning, the prosecution will submit its opposing affidavit. An investigating officer is also expected on the stand. Nhlanhla Mabaso, Eyewitness News.
In the Western Cape, the High Court will today decide whether or not to bring down the number of legal teams in a case related to the decriminalization of sex work. 16 NGOs have made applications to argue in the case, which challenges the criminalization of sex work as unconstitutional. The Sex Worker Education and Advocacy Task Team yesterday asked the court to minimize the amount of legal teams arguing the case. Carlo Peterson reports.
Lawyer for Sweat Isabel Goodman yesterday asked presiding judge Andre Lagrange to exclude applicants with submissions that do not take the case further. 16 NGOs have applied to join the case as friends of the court to argue in favor of the decriminalization of sex work. Goodman argued some of the legal teams have overlapping submissions, which will delay proceedings and cost the court more resources.
My Lord, we would submit that the court should, if it can, whittle down the number of amicus before the court. Where it is clear that an amicus does not bring in new submissions, it should with respect exclude them.
Judge Lagrange is set to make his ruling later this morning. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
And Burkina Faso has passed a law banning homosexuality and instituting punishments of up to 5 years in jail, the latest in a clutch of African nations to pass anti-gay legislation. Homosexuality is illegal in around 30 African countries, but was not banned in Burkina Faso before the military seized power 3 years ago. The draft law was unanimously adopted by 71 unelected members of a transitional parliament in place since 2 coups in 2022 in the West African nation. Officials say the anti-gang law is part of a wider reform of family and citizenship legislation and will be popularized through an awareness campaign. Gold is trading at $3,496.28 an ounce. The rand is at 17.64 to the dollar, 23.86 to the pound, 20.62 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $68.45 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got an accident reported in Village Main. This one is on the M2 West. It's right after Heidelberg Road, causing heavy delays. There's also queuing traffic on the M1 South. This is between Marlborough Drive and Corlett Drive while traveling in Bedfordview. Roadworks are taking place on the N12 West right near the R24 merge. Delays from Edenville Road.
A fine day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at 30 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. An accused in the Senzo Meyiwa trial will learn this morning if he will be acquitted of the football star's murder, as the High Court in Pretoria is set to deliver judgment in his discharge application.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
702.
Live
on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856.
92.7
and 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
Seven minutes after 10 o'clock. Thanks very much for joining us and sticking around with us from 9 o'clock. The previous hour, we had an open line, a very heated one, I must say. A number of issues came about, and we were asking, have we given up as South Africans? Are we in a state of numbness where we have said, this is the situation, there's nothing we can do. Throw the hands in the air and just pretend we just don't care. I don't know about that, and some of you have sent in some very interesting text messages as I had requested for them, but it appears as though we all agree that we need to do more. And I was challenging you as a citizen, as a resident, as a South African, to say that it can be that we'd be okay with things going wrong, and it can be that we should be held to ransom about just 30 years of democracy. We should demand more every single day. And speaking of demanding more, on this show every week for the past few weeks, Clement has been speaking to various mayors from different municipalities, trying to hold them to account, but more importantly, serving as a bridge between you and the mayor. And today is no different as we come to the end of that particular series of speaking to the mayors. Service delivery happens at a local level, mainly. That's where we get to experience it. That's where your waste gets removed, and that's where the roads that you're using, the potholes get fixed, the traffic lights are working, local clinics. So it's a very important level of governance. And if we don't engage with it thoroughly, we will miss out. We will truly miss out. So today we are going all the way to a municipality that is nestled by Johannesburg, Ekurhuleni, also the Vaal. I'm talking about Midvaal, and the mayor is already here. I urge you right away, this is about you, so make sure that you call in. 10 minutes after 10.
702.
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
The Midvaal local municipality has achieved an 11th consecutive clean audit for the 2023-2024 financial year, underscoring its commitment to financial accountability and good governance. The municipality continues to set a benchmark for transparency and effective management in Gauteng. It's one of the leading municipalities as far as performance is concerned. It could be that you've got your issues with them. That's why we've called the mayor to be here. So with that, allow me to welcome the executive mayor of Midvaal local municipality, Mr. Peter Teixeira. Sir, thanks for your time.
Thank you so much, Thabo, and good morning to the listeners.
I was saying to you earlier on that you have done so well, and that is not to say there's absence of mistakes, shortcomings, and loopholes here and there. But generally, when you speak of Midvaal and you speak of, let's say, Emfuleni, it's chalk and cheese.
Yeah.
And these two are not far away from each other. In your humble opinion, does it have to do more with resources as far as finances, human capital is concerned? Or is there any other ingredient that determines the success of the other over one?
Well, Thabo, from a Midvaal perspective, I can tell you that, it's no secret, but, there's sheer political will to serve the people. And I always say this in interviews that, local government is not complicated. We complicate it as politicians. In Midvaal, we focus on getting the basics right. We supply clean water to the people. There's electricity. There's sanitation, waste management. We collect weekly, even on public holidays, Christmas, etc. So I think the political will is the difference with many of the other municipalities. I can tell you that me, myself, as being mayor, my seniors and my political party holds me accountable. They do a performance evaluation on me every quarter where they want to know what it is that I'm doing. Am I serving the people? And they don't just listen to me. They actually do a survey within the municipality to hear from the people. Is the mayor delivering, on the mandate? And but yeah, Thabo, to answer your question, there's sheer political will in Midvaal, and I can tell you that we are very stable. I must also give credit to my predecessors who have built a very solid foundation, for us to continue prospering. Hence, we've received the 11th consecutive clean audit, and it's never about a Peter Teixeira, one man. It's a collective. There's also, the administration department, which is very, very competent. So, yeah, Thabo, political will is the difference in Midvaal.
I've asked the residents of Midvaal to call in and to interact with you and to dispute or confirm everything, everything else that you would be saying. And because a municipality is really made up of residents, if residents are not getting a service, then it means that good work is not being done, right? And there's only so much that public relations can do. The actual work must speak for itself. And I'm wondering, how do you handle informal settlements such as Sicelo, that still face some serious challenges as we are speaking. Of course, there are other good parts of your municipality that people will say, yeah, it's because you have affluent individuals and that's why services. But the informal settlements, how do you deal with the complaints, number one, and respond to service delivery issues?
So we do respond, Tabo. So Sicelo is one of our biggest townships in Midvaal. And if you look at where Sicelo is located in Midvaal, it's on a strategic land parcel, which is very close to the CBD. Very close to your transport nodes, taxi ranks, train stations, etc. And we are seeing an influx of people or semi-migration of people coming into Sicelo seeking a better life in Midvaal because, we're governing well. We've managed to attract investment. We've built an investor confident municipality. And, yes, Sicelo is one of the areas that had a massive backlog in infrastructure development. And I can tell you that, in Sicelo, there is various different parts of this. There's a formal part of Sicelo. There's also an informal part of Sicelo.
Yes.
And the informal part of Sicelo is where you will find your corrugated iron structures, your shacks, etc.
Yeah.
And even those that are residing in shacks have got access to basic services. And I think that is the difference. Obviously, we as a municipality are not accredited to build houses for people. We depend on the Department of Human Settlements at the province. And, Tabo, for me, what is sad is that, over the last 10 years, less than 1,000 houses have been built for our people in Midvaal by provincial government. And it is always a struggle for us to actually get them to respond to us. But yet, our neighboring municipalities, there's ample housing opportunities that do happen there. So I'm not sure if it's for political reasons. I don't want to get into that type of debate with provincial government.
Yeah.
But, that is the challenge, one of the challenges that we do face. But we do provide basic services. I recently electrified one of the informal settlements in Sicelo called Slahliwe, where we energized around 600 of those households. So we are definitely doing our part.
Collecting revenue is also very critical because it's a bloodstream of a municipality. Do you have any specific strategic mechanisms that you put into place to make sure that the residents respond to paying the tariffs, to adhering to the revenue of the municipality?
Tabo, people want to pay for what they can see. They want to pay for services. So I'm fortunate enough in Midvaal that our residents actually pay for services. I have a 92% collection rate, which we're trying to improve, take it right up to around 95, 96%. We have a very strong debt and credit control management system there. So, but we also have social packages, for people that cannot afford to pay for the services.
Yeah.
There are social packages that we offer, indigent pensioner rebates, etc. So we are a pro-poor government. Sure. We do take care of the poor. But people do pay. So it's not really much of a hassle to get people to pay because they say that, but you are fixing our potholes, the electricity is on, you're supplying us with water, etc. You're collecting our waste weekly. So therefore, they do pay.
Mr. Mayor, I have asked your residents to call through, and I'm going to ask them to do so on 011-883-0702. 011-883-0702. Alternatively, it could be that you want to deposit a voice note of about 30 seconds, 40 seconds so, and you want to leave that with the mayor. Feel free to do so on 072-702-1702. And I'll go straight to Savannah City, where Moloi is calling us from. Yeah, I'm glad that you are radio friendly. You know that you need to put on your headphones there. And Mr. Moloi, are you calling us from Savannah City? Good morning.
Morning, sir. Yes, I'm calling from Savannah City.
Welcome.
Yeah, I would like to tell the mayor that we are having problems with the water meters here in Savannah City. We have queries that we've logged, but we are not getting any help from the municipality.
Yeah, and how long has that been? The mayor is listening. He'll respond to you now, Moloi. Don't go away.
I've got queries ranging from a month or two.
Okay. Hold on, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, Thabo, I actually met up with the leaders, the block leaders of Savannah City. So it's made up of various blocks. We do have prepaid water meters in Savannah City. So there were some issues with the prepaid. We actually did an audit in the area because we actually identified that a bulk of our water losses were coming from the area of Savannah City. So the municipality went into the area. We did a meter audit. And what we found is that some of the meters were bypassed. We found bypasses by the residents. And but there were also faulty meters, genuine faulty meters that the municipality needed to take care of. So we've got around 1,200 meters in Savannah City that we need to get to. We met with the block leaders this past Friday, and we actually started a WhatsApp group to try to address those particular issues. And I said that we must treat each case on its own merit.
Yes.
Because there are those where there has been a bypass of the meter.
Yeah.
But there are also meters where, there were ghost tokens, for the lack of a better word, that were put in. Because inside a prepaid meter, there's also a conventional meter, which most of the times the residents don't know. And the conventional meter tells you how much water flowed through the meter, even though you may have loaded water for 100 Rand, but 500 Rand's water have flowed through the meter, and we can pick that up.
Yeah.
So we are working on a strategy for the residents of Savannah.
Just quickly with Moloi. Moloi, did you attend that meeting that was called by the mayor?
No, I think it was attended by the leaders. I'm not a leader.
Oh, okay. So yours is that you are not getting a response from the mayor's office, and there's a specific, unique issue that you need to raise.
Yes.
Okay. What's your turnaround time, Mayor, for people to speak to you?
Look, it depends, Thabo, on the complaint. If it is a dispute around an account for his water meter, he may be disputing. I'm not sure if Moloi indicated exactly what the dispute is on the meter. No. But we normally respond within 2 to 3 days. If it's a water leak, we respond within 3 hours.
Okay.
If the meter is leaking. But if it is a dispute on an account,
Yeah.
normally it can take up to 3 days to a week, depending
would
on the
you
nature.
mind, Mr. Mayor, for purposes of time, if we link you with Moloi? I'll ask the producers to grab Moloi's numbers, and then we link you with Moloi, and maybe you can hear what his issue is.
No problem.
21 minutes after 10 o'clock. Keep those calls coming through on 011-883-0702. Alternatively, send a voice note to 072-702-1702.
Aubrey Masango.
Weekday evenings,
8 to midnight.
The story of the 121 dockets that have now been returned to the Political Killings Task Force in KwaZulu-Natal. Why would Umongameli, Matamet, and Feroz Kachalia be wanting to block that? That's an operational matter. Why are the politicians getting involved? Is this not what General Mkwanazi was talking about? The politicians like to get involved in operational police matters. What's going on here? Mr. President, No. Something is hitting the water.
Aubrey Masango.
8 to midnight on 702.
702.
They've stood tall, served hard, and dreamt big. Now it's time to honor the best among them. It's Gauteng's Greatest Awards with 702. Powered by Yoko. Tune in on Tuesday, 9 September from 6 a.m. when we reveal the winners and celebrate the excellence that makes Gauteng feel like home. Because every time a business wins, the whole community shines. Gauteng's Greatest Awards with 702, powered by Yoko. Let Yoko counter-fuel your business to greatness. Go to yoko.com to explore the new point of sale solution, saving hundreds of businesses time and money.
So you thought you were building a business? In this economy? Good luck. But day by day, somehow it grew. You became payroll, procurement, PR, and pressure valve. You kept going when the freezer didn't freeze, the bucket didn't budge, and the bank balance barely blinked. What's that saying again? What doesn't kill your business makes it stronger? Or at least it should be that. So you thought you were building a business. You weren't. It was building you. Because this isn't just what you do anymore. It's who you are. And you don't trust just anybody to protect it. Chat to your broker about Old Mutual Insure Business Insurance. Protect what built you. Old Mutual Insurer Limited is a licensed FSP and non-life insurer.
Alarm goes off, but silently. And now you're late for everything. Leave. Cancel the day before you leave.
I knew it.
1 tick, 2 ticks, blue tick. Hectic.
Yeah, I'm going to need a mac and cheese.
Adulting is hard. Instead of curling up or crashing out, try the new Nando's mac and cheese with delicious cheesy bechamel sauce, topped with crispy peri crumble. Get it as a side with any meal or by itself, because you're just a baby.
For more about 702,
go to primemediaplus.com.
Mayor Peter Teixeira is joining me in the studio for a conversation about Midvaal, where he is executive mayor at that local municipality. Feel free to share your thoughts. And as I've said, for the past couple of weeks, Clement has been hosting various mayors and holding them to account and bringing them in front of you and saying, here they are. Any question that you've ever wanted to ask them, well, this is an opportunity to do so on 072-702-1702. We have some voice notes.
Good morning, Thabo. Thabo, I just wanted to ask the mayor, how many percent are they complete in cleaning the sewage that goes inside the Vaal River? Please. Sello Roduport.
Mr. Mayor?
So, Thabo, all of our sewer pump stations are operational. I've got 44 in my municipality. Some are located close to the Vaal River. And our main pump station, called the Rotin pump station, is also 100% operational. It actually has a backup generator to ensure even during load shedding, we are able to pump the sewer towards the wastewater treatment works. So we are not contributing towards the pollution of the Vaal. The effluent that we discharge from our wastewater treatment plant is compliant, and that can be confirmed by GDOT, so we do not have any of those issues.
Great. Another voice note?
Morning, Thabo. I'm from Mfuleni. Videos where he was having meetings with businesses so that they can hire people from that side at Midvaal. They can start with Midvaal people first. Like, I was so impressed, Thabo, because this is what we need. It can't be that there's businesses, but I'm unemployed, and then there's people that we don't even know. It's not that we're jealous, but it hurts. Well done, Mayor.
Hi, Mashao. Hope you're well. Donald here from Ivory Park. Please ask your mayor to please give advice to the mayor of Johannesburg. Since I'm under Johannesburg, I feel like there is no mayor in Johannesburg. If there is one, what are they doing? Like simple things, potholes, street lights, water, like there is absolutely nothing happening here, especially in my area. Please tell them to advise the mayor of Johannesburg. I'm sick and tired. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. I'm disgusted. Thank you.
Well, firstly, he's not my mayor, remember. And I'm not in Midvaal. I traverse Mohale and Joburg City. So I'm a resident of those two cities there. But indeed, very interesting. Mayor, but I think the underlying question is, do you have some sort of peer review mechanism? Do you have a platform where you engage as mayors and ventilate these things? I would assume even beyond party lines, where you sit with each other and just share ideas.
Yeah, there are these intergovernmental relationships that take place, Thabo, where we do meet with other mayors. The MEC of Kochte, Mr. Mamabolo, has actually put together a WhatsApp group with all Gauteng mayors, where we do engage on certain things. But remember, Thabo, there's always this belief by your metropolitan or metro mayors that their issues are different to your local municipalities, smaller municipalities like Midvaal. But in fact, they are not different. The system, yes, maybe geographically, land size may be different and population-wise. There's not much of a difference, because if you look at the budget that a metro would get, it's supposed to cover or reach to all of the residents, but it never does. But we do engage. We try to assist where we can. Thabo, we give advice. Sometimes I'm not sure if people do want to take the advice, but as Midvaal, we've not said that we're an island. We do form part of Gauteng.
Yes,
we want Gauteng to work. I've got family in Tembisa, I've got family in Pretoria, I've got family all over Gauteng.
Yeah.
I want Gauteng to work, so I have a vested interest in the well-being of Gauteng. So we've always availed ourselves as Midvaal to assist where we can. And I always say, Thabo, we're not perfect. We're not walking on water. We do have challenges. Local government is very complex. And, but we're always willing to share best practices. And we're also willing to learn from other municipalities on the good things that they are doing.
After the news headlines in the next few seconds, I would like us to explore this matter of perhaps not getting much from the province, because that can also hamper your progress and it can affect your performance. And whether we like it or not, your residents are part of a bigger Gauteng family. Yes. So, and all of those can somehow have a negative confluence. And I would like us to explore that, your relationship with the province and some of those concerns, how they are addressed. It's exactly 10:30. Fiso Zulu will tell us what's the latest on the Eyewitness News headlines. Good morning and welcome again, Fiso.
Thanks, Thabo. Good morning. Orlando Pirates Football Club has confirmed that their coach, Abdeslam Wadu, has been hospitalized after he and 5 members of staff were involved in a car crash. The incident happened on Sunday night on the R21 highway as they were returning from a match against Chipa United that afternoon. The Pirates team bus had stopped to assist at the scene of a collision between 2 vehicles when another car crashed into the stationary vehicles and the group of people who had gotten off the bus to help, including the coach. The Western Cape High Court will today decide whether or not to bring down the number of legal teams in a case related to the decriminalization of sex work. 16 NGOs have made applications to argue in the case, which challenges the criminalization of sex work as unconstitutional. The Sex Work Education and Advocacy Task Team yesterday asked the court to minimize the amount of legal teams arguing in the case. And North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has crossed the border into China, where he will meet with both Xi Jinping and Russian President Vladimir Putin for the first time as the West watches on. And those are the headlines. This EWN and more at 11 or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
Traveling on the M2 West in Village Main, we still have got that accident on the M2 West before Elof Street. It's causing delays coming out of Heidelberg Road. While traveling on the M1 South, there's a queuing traffic between Car Street and the Crown Interchange. There's also slow-moving traffic along the M2 West heading towards Amalgam. This is between the Crown Interchange and Main Reef Road. If you're traveling around the Fourways area, please be on the lookout for roadworks taking place right near Winnie Mandela Drive, and they are bound to cause delays. There's also slow-moving traffic due to roadworks on the M17 West between Boksburg, Carnival City entrance and the R21. We'll have more updates for you at the top of the hour. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. The Midday Report.
Weekdays
12 to 1.
Joburg Mayor, what an absolute joke. We set ourselves the goal of the 1st of September to reopen the road, but we're only going to open on the 12th of September because there's still work to be done. And we think we achieved the target we set for ourselves. We think, what a bunch of clowns.
These guys are straight out lying to us. Don't forget, there's a local government election coming next year, and that's why we're seeing this happening.
The Midday Report
with Mandy Wiener.
12 to 1 on 702.
702.
It's the clarion call for the 26th Standard Bank Joy of Jazz. Choose your days carefully because this time we're going all out as the heavyweight jazz at Lincoln Center with Wynton Marsalis make a triumphant return to the Sandton Convention Center on the 26th and the 28th of September 2025, alongside the already star-studded lineup of over 60 world-class acts across 4 stages. On second thoughts, we recommend you buy yourself all 3 days via Ticketmaster. Take them there.
Swing into spring with Hollywood Dead Spinner Zonke, where a sea of floral fun, epic adventures, and blooming beautiful games await. Reap red hot riches and whimsical wins with our sparkling spring-themed slots. The season's luck is in full bloom, so dive in and grab your chance to unravel an endless supply of thrilling treasures and claim sensational rewards when you bet now. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008. At the heart of global conversations shaping our future, Africa's voice is more important than ever. As proud lead sponsor of the B20, the Standard Bank Group is honored to showcase the continent's growth, partnerships, and potential on the world stage. Because driving Africa's growth isn't just our ambition, it's our purpose. Tune in every Monday from 3 p.m. for the Standard Bank B20 In Brief for key insights and updates around the B20. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
25 minutes to 11 o'clock. My guest, Mr. Peter Teixeira, the Executive Mayor of Midvaal Municipality, and we are speaking to him on the backdrop of having had a look at various other municipalities, metros in the past few weeks. And Midvaal, today is your turn. What say you? Your mayor is here. Feel free to ask him any other question that you'd like to put forward. 011-883-0702. I would want it to be less about my questions and more about yours. We've got a call. Mr. Mayor, please put on your headphones as we hear what Kamogelo has to say. Apparently, he's in your municipality. Kamogelo, hi. Welcome. Kamogelo?
Hi, Tabo. Thank you for taking the call.
Sure.
May you please ask the mayor, since he's been in the municipality, what gives him the drive to continue as he does? Because annually he's got the mayoral youth games, and they've resulted in him launching the first ever skills development center yesterday. I think that is very important for him to share also with other mayors, perhaps, who are listening.
Okay. Kamogelo, thanks very much. Really appreciate it. Mr. Mayor?
Thank you for the question, Camelo. Yes. Look, firstly, I must say, Thabo, that, I'm born in Midvaal. I love Midvaal. I love my people. I've got a vested interest in my area. And I've always been passionate about growing, my local economy within my municipality. And, I did identify the need to empower and capacitate my people to be attractive to the job market, and try to boost the local economy. Because we all know, Thabo, that South Africa is one of the highest unemployment rates in the world. And amongst the unemployed people are the youth, within our society. And we know of all the social ills that affect young people within our communities. And, hence, when I came into office, I said it's important that we look at how do we make our people of Midvaal attractive to the job market, because we already have a strategy in place to attract investment into the municipality. We have built, like I said earlier, an investor-confident municipality. We're seeing a lot of investment. We've got prominent businesses like your Civic breweries, Heineken, South Africa, etc., that are located within our municipality. And most of the time with my engagements with the business sector, I always advocate for my people, for employment opportunities that may arise within those business sectors. And most of the time what I'll get from the business society is that, but Mayor, your people lack certain skills.
Yes.
And this is when then I went out to the private sector and I said, let's collaborate. Let's see how we can construct and build a skills development center to bridge that skills gap. And that's exactly what we did, Thabo. It was a vision of mine in 2021. And yesterday, as Camelo said, we officially launched the Skills Development Center, where young people, as well as people above 35 up to around 50, which I call the forgotten generation, who have very limited government intervention programs for them, where we are going to upskill our people in Midvaal. We're going to focus on artisan skills. You know, we want to train plumbers, we want to train electricians. I want to make them attractive, you know, to the job market and etc., and make them employable. So it's, you know, for me it was a dream come true yesterday, and I can tell you now, Thabo, we've received since the beginning of this year. We've received over 2,000 development applications in Midvaal. People want to come and invest. We're seeing businesses from across South Africa, even foreign. There is a French company, Malterie company from France called Soufflet, who are also investing into our municipality, and that's a 3.5 billion rand investment into my municipality. That has an opportunity to also create jobs, over 500 jobs for my people. So yeah, I'm very, very passionate. That's what drives me, the well-being of my people. And I'm going to continue doing exactly that to empower my people.
Fantastic. Yeah, we are on Radio Mayor, but we are also on YouTube. So there are some comments that have come through to people who are watching us via our YouTube channel. Lawrence Maloka says, to the mayor, what is the policy regarding pension rebates on rates? Because I was told that this is not applicable to Midvaal, since this is a DA-led council and not a Joburg council.
No, that's absolutely not true. As I indicated to you, Thabo, earlier on, we have a social package. So from 55 upwards, you know, residents may qualify for pensionary rebates at the municipality. Obviously, there's a certain criteria. You can't be earning above a certain amount, which if I recall, it's around 8,000 rand. If you earn less than 8,000 rand, you qualify for that pensioner rebates, and they can get more information on our website, the Midvaal Local Municipality website, and that's where they can submit. So it's not true that because it's a DA, our budget, Thabo, is a pro-poor budget that we approved in May, that we took to council. We really, really do care for the poor, and you know, the public is welcome to look at our social packages that we offer, even the indigents, etc. So we do care about all of our people, and it's not true that it does not exist.
We hope so, Mayor. And I'll just take these two comments and then I will move on. Also coming from YouTube. King, thank you, Mayor, for your efforts to be responsive to residents' concerns. Your leadership and commitment is deeply appreciated. Arthur Hochile. And there is also Lebza, who's saying that the mayor is very engaging and truly puts people first. He's doing the most in Midvaal. Without any further ado, let's go to Mpumi, also calling us from Midvaal. Has Mpumi been holding the longest? No, it's definitely Begi who's been holding the longest. Apologies for that. I'll come to you, Mpumi. Let's go to Begi and be fair to him. Begi's in Vanderbilt Park. Begi, hi.
Hey, morning. How are you?
We are chilled. How are you, Begi?
I'm very fine. No, I just want to congratulate my friend. I hope he still remembers me. I used to work with him at Salka. A former MMC at Municipality for Public Works. Yes.
Yeah.
No, look, man. Just two things, Peter. Your municipality is becoming a role model. But just two questions. What are you doing in terms of integrating communities? Because we usually hear about racism and other issues, but if you take an attempt in terms of integrating your communities, not having only two townships, like I think it's Telo, I don't know which is another one, in terms of development, new developments whereby people can be integrated. The second part is that, yes, we are getting clean audits, which is very good for a new mayor like you, getting clean audits like now and again. But can that be said that because of that, the service delivery is good in your area? I'm not judging. I just want to hear from you, even though the people are saying, that municipality is performing well. I was just recommending you as a person that I know that, you're doing well, my friend.
Yeah. A lot of subtext there. But coming to the core, I think also very important to mention, Mr. Mayor, that, and I want to accentuate what he said, which I suppose is the main crux. Having a clean audit, does it necessarily translate to people getting services? Because it could be that you're doing your books very well, and it could be that you are economic with expenditure, this, that, and the other. But the books are showing that you're having clean audits, and we celebrate you when you come here. One doesn't mean the other, does it?
Yeah. So firstly, yes, I do remember Becky, and I worked with him very well. So yeah, greetings to you, Becky. Look, I think, Thabo, it's a very, very crucial question or comment that was made. So that has been something that I've been driving. I've always said to the administration, in my municipality, that my community must see, feel, and touch a clean audit. They must be able to understand what does it mean. And not only in one particular area, but for all of the residents of Midvaal, whether you are in Skelo or you're in Lakeside or you're in Savannah City, our townships in Midvaal. If you go there, Thabo, and you ask, what does a clean audit mean to you? They must be able to adequately respond by saying, I have access to clean drinking water all the time. I have access to electricity, sanitation, my waste is collected, my roads are not riddled with potholes. So those are the type of things that we are looking at, as a municipality, that it must automatically translate to good, excellent service delivery for everyone.
Sure.
Thabo, I must say that, local government is very, very challenging, especially, like I said, because of the good governance and our good track record as Midvaal, we're seeing an influx of people. We're very close to the Free State as well.
Yes.
So the more other municipalities fail around Midvaal, the more people we see that come in, which does put pressure on the existing infrastructure of the municipality. And what we do best, Thabo, is that we have a 10-year master plan, infrastructure master plan for the municipality. So when we are hearing municipalities running out of water and cannot supply water to people, we don't have that problem, Thabo. I have a 10 megaliter reservoir, which I'm using currently not to supply residents, but only to boost water pressure for certain areas. That's capacity, infrastructure capacity.
Yeah.
So this is why when business or private sector, investors come knocking on my door, I'm able to provide them with those services. I can give them water, I can give them electricity, I can give them all of these services, and they can invest there. So, yeah, Thabo, I think that to some degree, to answer the question short that Becky put in yourself, I think that it is safe to say that we definitely delivering on the clean audit.
Sure.
We're not walking on water. There are challenges. We know where the challenges are. We are forever trying to ensure that we reach out to everyone and that we are consistent in terms of delivering services to the people. Obviously, like I said, we are attracting a lot of people seeking a better life, and that does put a lot of pressure on the existing infrastructure.
Before we go to Mpumi, the question that Becky also put forward was social cohesion.
Yes.
As far as I understood it to be.
Yes. So, the spatial injustices of the past, Thabo, is not only unique to Midvaal. It's all over the country, which must be corrected. And I must say to you that if you look at where Skelo, for example, is located within our municipality, it is on the western side, which is separated by the R59 highway. And we've engaged with the Department of Roads and Transport in the province to build a footbridge, to make accessibility to the CBD and the more affluent areas much easier for people of our townships to go in and out of the CBD.
Yeah.
It mustn't be that they must catch a taxi to go to the CBD, etc., or to the workplace. They must be able to walk to where the economy is. And we've built a road, a station road, which is in Mayton, which links our biggest township, Skelo, to the CBD. Yeah. So we are integrating. If you look at Savannah City, for example, which is a mega housing project in our municipality, which will yield around 20,000 mixed housing opportunities. That is close to your more developed areas. So the integration is there, Thabo. We're definitely doing our part in terms of redress and transformation.
I'm going to come to you, Mpumi, in a second. Please hang 10 for me. 12 minutes to 11.
When I say insurance, you say pineapple. Insurance.
Pineapple.
Insurance.
Pineapple.
Insurance.
Pineapple.
Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
Do you know what's hiding behind the colorful packaging of unhealthy food? Big food companies target children with unhealthy packaged foods that hide high levels of sugar, salt, and fat, which could lead to heart disease, diabetes, and hypertension. But the truth is hidden from consumers. Front of package warning labels are a proven solution to help consumers make informed decisions. The government must act now. We have the right to know what's in our food. Demand front of package warning labels. Sign the petition on heala.org, HEALA.org, by the 30th of September.
Mzansi, Powerball and Powerball Plus stand at 94 million rand in total estimated jackpots this Tuesday. Don't delay. Play Powerball for an estimated 44 million rand and Powerball Plus for an estimated 50 million rand today. Buy your tickets now in store or on nationallottery.co.za. The mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120*7529# for USSD. Panda Pusha Play. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. Ituba is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Text messages have been coming through thick and fast. We'll go to them. Mpome, quickly, you had something to say, so apologies. You've been holding for some time.
Hi, Tabo.
Morning, Mpome, it's your turn.
Okay, I would like to ask something to the mayor. I'm staying in Savannah City, Midvaal. The last pocket is pocket 7. We used to have those big dustbins that they normally put them on an open field. I think it's called skin dustbin, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, ma'am.
We used to have that that dustbin near our pocket. It's no longer there. I don't know what happened to that dustbin. But then people, they kept on dumping there because they used to have that dustbin, even though it's no longer there. Now we are facing a serious problem about the rats.
Yes.
I think it's for the second time this year taking my car to the mechanics. Rats are eating our cable cars.
Yes.
We are having a serious problem. Please, Mr. Mayor, assist us with that dustbin if it's possible. Please.
Thank you so much, Mpome in Savannah City. We'll come to that in a short while. Mayor, I would like you to take these into consideration as well, because I wouldn't want us to run out of time without having touched on as many of your residents' concern as possible. Hi, Tabo and the team. With all due respect, can you please ask on my behalf there from the mayor as to, is there any measure perhaps they have put in place in terms of dealing with illegal immigrants in the Midvaal? Because we seem to have tremendous number of Basotho nationals that contribute immensely to the crime in the area. And this is coming from Max. Hi, Tabo, can you ask the mayor about the future plans, investments, opportunities in the pipeline? I stay in Riversdale. The third one, I'm just having a request to the mayor. May we have street cameras to fight crimes? I got 3 break-ins in a period of 12 months here in Sicelo, Nkandla, and it comes from Winnie. And the last one, as a resident and a beneficiary of the Forgotten Generation, thank you so much for the wonderful work that you do. All my compliments are being handled very professionally, and I must be specific. I'm now employable because of you. Thank you, Mayor. The DA in Midvaal is very unfair to the agricultural community. We pay full residential rates and do not get roads, sewerage, drainage, lights, clinics, public transport, nothing. We pay residential rates for nothing. We used to pay 25% rates, but the DA changed it to full residential. And that's one of your residents there, Mr. Mayor. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Tabo. I'll start with the first one. So in Savannah City, we had some skip bins to assist the different pockets, the areas within Savannah. Now, what the lady rightfully said is that unfortunately people do not dump in the skip bin, they dump around the skip bin. And that is what will cause, your rodents and all of that type of things happening. So what's happening in Savannah, Thabo, is that we're busy now currently constructing a transfer station where the community can now dump or dispose of their garden waste as well as the building rubble. So waste we collect weekly, Thabo. Even whether it's Christmas Day or it's New York, we will not fail to collect your waste. That's something that we master as Midvaal local municipality, is waste management. So there's absolutely no excuse for residents to illegally dump. I'm not a fan of the skip bins because of the obvious reasons. They send children with a wheelbarrow. The child can't reach the height of the skip bin. They just dump everything around it. Thabo, the second one was illegal immigrants. I think that is a very sensitive topic. Obviously, I'm not sure if the gentleman does have evidence to prove that people committing crime are indeed Lesotho nationals and the fact that they are illegal immigrants. So obviously, we advocate for people to have the proper documentation to also reside within our municipality, but it is a competency of Home Affairs, the Immigration Department. It's very, very sensitive. So I think that is one issue. If indeed, the gentleman does have any information, I would advise him to report it to the South African Police Services in Meyerton, who can look into that particular matter.
Certainly.
Future plans, Thabo, as I said, Midvaal is growing, the economy is growing. We want to position the R59 business corridor heading south and north to a business corridor, something similar to the Midrand business corridor, where we have businesses settling both on the left and the right side, on the east and the western side. Obviously, with all these development applications we are receiving, there are various businesses that are looking at settling on those strategic land parcels. So we have the infrastructure to be able to accommodate that investment. And we obviously have put together a investment and retention committee to also fast track certain processes, land use processes as a municipality, so that we do not frustrate developers. So we are open for business as a municipality. And, where the gentleman actually resides, he said he resides in Riversdale. That's where our spatial development framework for the municipality speaks to residential growth.
Yes.
So we are saying for residential development, people must focus in areas like your Riversdale, Kookris, Henley on Klip area. And that is because we've invested in sufficient infrastructure to accommodate that development in those areas. Thabo, the other one is in Kandla Skelo and the request for cameras. We currently rolling out your sniper cameras within the municipality. So we invest around 7 million rand that goes to safety and security of our residents. Thabo, when you come into Midvaal, there are cameras where we can pick you up. We have a state-of-the-art control room where it is monitored by officials. And if a vehicle has been or is being wanted by SAPS or has committed a crime elsewhere, and it passes through our cameras, it automatically triggers off a siren in that control room.
Yeah.
And we therefore inform SAPS as well as the local community policing forums. Yes. So we work very close with the CPFs in our area.
Apologies, we only have about 40 seconds. May I push you to the agricultural community?
Yes, so we are investing in fighting crime. I will look at the Nkandla one in Sekelo. The agricultural one, Thabo, we are a semi-rural municipality with vast agricultural land. And what we're seeing nowadays, Thabo, is that people buy plots or agricultural holdings where when you buy it, and you construct perhaps a house, a dwelling on it, the municipality informs you that please be aware that we do not have waterborne sanitation. You have to construct a septic tank. So from the onset. You know that there's no street lights because it's agricultural land. But later on, once people are there for 2 to 3 years, then they request street lights. They want all of the same type of services in a more residential, developed suburban area.
Sure.
We try to meet them halfway where possible. But as I said, Thabo, it's not always possible.
Mayor, thanks for your time. Thanks for being candid with us. Sadly, we've run out of time. We should do it again in the near future. Really appreciate you coming into the studio. It's been great talking to you.
Thank you so much, Thabo, and thank you to the listeners.
Mr. Peter Teixeira, Executive Mayor of Midvaal Local Municipality, 2 minutes to 11.
In a world where everything is instant, some things are worth slowing down for. You took the time to build a life of distinction. Every moment, every milestone, every decision. At Indwe, we take the time to understand your world and craft insurance solutions to protect it. Because true peace of mind is the greatest luxury of all. The right insurance starts with a conversation. It starts with helloindwe.co.za. Indwe Risk Services is an authorized financial services provider.
Here at Betway, we're finding every way possible to make sure you can win your next sports bet. With our new Bet Saver feature, you could get your stake back or more on bets with multiple losses. Stand to win, even when your bet misses. Bet Saver, exclusive to Betway. Terms and conditions apply. Betway is licensed and regulated by the Western Cape Gambling and Racing Board. No persons under the age of 18 are permitted to gamble. South African Responsible Gambling Program toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Winners know when to stop.
Corporate ZK promotes and encourages corporate leaders and all citizens to walk the talk for a better South Africa. Catch Corporates That Care this Wednesday at 10 to 9 featuring Sipla. The CEO, Paul Miller, will be in conversation with Clement Manyathela. Join us every Wednesday as we highlight the efforts of companies and brands dedicated to building our country. Corporate ZK is a Prime Media Cares initiative with 702 and Prime Media Outdoor. 702, let's walk the talk and make a difference together.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Orlando Pirates Football Club has confirmed their coach Abdelslam Wadu has been hospitalized after he and 5 members of staff were involved in a car crash. The incident happened on Sunday nights on the R21 highway as they were returning from a match against Chipa United that afternoon. The Pirates team bus had stopped to assist at the scene of a collision between 2 vehicles when another car crashed into the stationary vehicles and the group of people who had gotten off the bus to help, including the coach. The team says Wadu and the unnamed staff members are recovering in hospital. Renowned broadcast journalist Sidi Madia will be celebrated today at a memorial service following her passing. Madia died in hospital last week after a short illness. At the time of her passing, she was the associate editor for politics at EWN. She has been remembered for her fierce style of journalism, her patriotism and warmth. Khomotso Modise has more.
Sidi Madia's hearty laughter, unrelenting quest for truth and mischievous nature have been the recurring theme among an outpouring of tributes shared by colleagues, friends and family alike. Today, guests from all spheres of society will gather at the Prime Media Broadcasting headquarters in Sandton, where Madia ended her illustrious career in celebration of her life. Over 300 people are expected to honor Madia's legacy, which has been described as rich and inimitable. While today's ceremony is expected to begin at midday, Madia's final farewell will be held on Thursday in Germiston. Khomotso Modise, Eyewitness News.
The memorial service will be live streamed on the EWN app and the Prime Media Plus app. The Western Cape High Court will today decide whether or not to bring down the number of legal teams in a case related to the decriminalization of sex work. 16 NGOs have made applications to argue in the case, which challenges the criminalization of sex work as unconstitutional. The Sex Worker Education and Advocacy Task Team yesterday asked the court to minimize the amount of legal teams arguing in the case. Carlo Peterson has more.
Lawyer for Sweat, Isabel Goodman, yesterday asked presiding judge Andre Lagrange to exclude applicants with submissions that do not take the case further. 16 NGOs have applied to join the case as friends of the court to argue in favor of the decriminalization of sex work. Goodman argued some of the legal teams have overlapping submissions, which will delay proceedings and cost the court more resources.
My Lord, we would submit that the court should, if it can,
whittle down the number of amicus before the court. Where it is clear that an amicus does not bring in new submissions, it should with respect exclude them.
Judge Lagrange is set to make his ruling later this morning. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
And North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has crossed the border into China, where he will meet with both Xi Jinping and Russian President Vladimir Putin for the first time as the West watches on. The trio will be joined by 24 other leaders at the huge spectacle to mark 80 years since the end of World War II. China will showcase its military prowess with troops marching in formation, flypasts and other high-tech fighting gear at the showpiece extravaganza centered on Beijing's Tiananmen Square. This is only Kim's second reported trip abroad in 6 years. China has touted the parade as a show of unity with other countries, and Kim's attendance will be the first time he is seen with Xi Jinping and Putin at the same event. Gold is trading at $3,496.28 an ounce. The rand is at 17.64 to the dollar, 23.86 to the pound, 20.62 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $68.45 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N12 West. That's between the Edenville Road exit and the Kilulis interchange, and that's due to roadworks. While traveling on the M2 West and Village Main, we've got delays between Heidelberg Road and Elof Street due to an earlier accident.
A fine day in store for Gauteng today. The temperatures will peak at highs of 30 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour: Orlando Pirates Football Club has confirmed their coach Abdeslam Wadu has been hospitalized after he and 5 members of staff were involved in a car crash.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
702.
Live
on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856.
92.7
and 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
Five minutes after 11 o'clock. Thanks very much for staying with us. My name is Thabo. I'm in for Clement. We're together till 12. It's been great with you having all these very interesting discussions. In the past hour, we had a chat with Mr. Peter Teixeira, the mayor of Midvaal local municipality. They seem to be doing very well, and he does say that they don't walk on water, but they get the basics done. Providing water, waste management, and making sure that they contribute to trying to make the streets safe of that municipality. What do you make of it? I'm interested in hearing from you. And a number of residents called in to share their views, and they seem to be impressed as well. So it looks like they may be on top of something. Remember, that was the last of the feature in this series of speaking to various mayors, as Clement was doing in the past few weeks. And I'm sure that you enjoyed that one. In the next few minutes or so, we'll be looking at a very sensitive but pertinent issue of harassment. Harassment in a workplace, including sexual harassment. Do you feel safe in your space? Do you feel that the people who are endangering you, who are contravening your safe space, who are somehow making you feel unsafe? Is your boss treating you badly? Do you feel harassed, intimidated, and not cared for in your workplace? Well, let us know about that. What do you do? Do you go to HR and explain to them that this is a problem, and do they take action to your satisfaction? I'd love to hear from you, especially if you're a boss and you've received complaints from your employees, your subordinates who have come to you complaining about being harassed. What do you do? How do you handle such instances? And of course, a sensitive one is sexual harassment, right? Because what constitutes that? I'd love to hear from you on 011-883-0702. 7 minutes after 11.
702.
World of Work.
World of work indeed. My guest is Dumisani Ndiweni, partner at law firm Weber Wenzel, and we want to explore this matter of harassment in the workplace, particularly sexual harassment. As I said, it continues to be one of the most pressing challenges facing organizations across South Africa. And while the legal framework and other statutes and company policies provide a structure for addressing complaints, the experience is something different on the ground, especially if you're a victim. You want to see things done. And at times victims feel that their voices are overshadowed by technical defenses, aggressive tactics, and a process that leaves complainants feeling re-traumatized rather than protected. At the same time, employees face serious legal, financial, and reputational risks when harassment is mishandled. So there is that responsibility on the side of employers to make sure that it's handled properly. There could also be CCMA awards that are in favor of the victims. So employers need to be careful as well. So Dumisani Ndiweni joins us right now. Dumisani, thanks for your time. Dumisani, so I should say apologies. Dumisani, thanks for your time. Welcome to 702. It's great having you with us. Good morning.
Good morning, Thabo. Thank you. Thank you for having me, and greetings to your listeners.
Thanks very much. How widespread is this issue, particularly sexual harassment in the South African workspace, Dumisani? And how are organizations currently handling this sensitive hot potato?
Look, Thabo, sexual harassment in the workplace is something that is challenging all organizations across all industries. The reality is it's more common than people actually think. We have laws and policies that provide a framework for these sort of handling these complaints. The way these cases are managed in practice often determines whether the employees truly protect their people and themselves. Many companies to date have policies on paper, but when it comes to actual implementation or dealing with the complaints, that's where we see the real challenges emerge. I mean, the good news on the one hand is that the awareness is growing and more employees are speaking up about it, and certain employers are actually taking steps to ensure they try and eradicate this form of harassment in accordance with the code of good practice when it comes to the prevention of such conduct.
And Dumisani, I often try to go a few steps back because I'm of the impression that we may not have a common understanding of, one, harassment, and two, sexual harassment. Because whilst you engage with it at a very professional and legal phase of this issue, there could be an employee who interacts with it pragmatically but is not necessarily aware of the legalities around it. Plainly put, what is harassment and sexual harassment?
Look, harassment and sexual harassment, I'll just group it together in this particular case, will be any unwanted conduct of a sexual nature that is offensive, intimidating, humiliating, degrading, and can create a hostile environment. That will be the broad strokes of harassment. But when you get into sexual harassment, it, in addition, can be split into physical and non-physical harassment. For instance, physical, we would both appreciate would be somebody just touching somebody inappropriately. Non-physical will be jokes and sexual innuendos that are suggestive in nature, of a sexual nature. So that's simply put, that's what harassment and sexual harassment would be.
And the gray line therein, and you mentioned unwanted, right? That could be a little bit murky, and I'm just wondering to what extent can the level of being arbitrary be taken into consideration herein, wherein I could have felt that what I said was not necessarily harassment and was in a way how we often relate to each other. But today, you may have deduced offense therefrom because we're no longer on good speaking terms.
Yes, Tabo, those complexities do arise, and we need to be cognizant of them. The reality of it is that, and legally, is that sexual harassment doesn't need to be a consistent occurrence of certain conduct. It can be that two individuals were in a relationship, are still in a relationship and work in the same space. However, on this particular day, one of the individuals felt that the comment which was projected towards them was unwanted. That could constitute sexual harassment, even though they are in a relationship. And for the accused employee then now to put a version and defend himself or herself, they would then in a hearing or in a platform have to articulate that this is how we ordinarily engage. I was not aware that it was unwanted at the time. And a chairperson would have to sit and make a determination on whether there's any plausibility to the defense which this employee is raising.
And I'm just wondering, as a fair HR personnel, a lot of people argue that that doesn't exist at all, fairness in HR. But let's assume that HR would be fair. And you are placed, between a rock and a hard place, even though it's your job. Thabo comes to complain. But also, how do you balance the interests of the employer and the employee in this instance? What is at merit here? What is at stake?
Yes. So, look, Thabo, I'd have to say to you, we should be optimistic and hope that HR in this scenario. Because they are the custodians of our policy.
I'm being naughty. Let me remove that from the table. I'm just being naughty.
Yeah, but it is. Look, Thabo, your question is not misplaced.
Sure.
Because as an employee who's a victim of sexual harassment, and I happen to raise the complaint, and I'm fully aware that the accused individual is friends with HR, for instance, because we're all in a work, people engage and interact.
Yeah.
There is that feeling that could come about. But this is where it's crucial that employers, when handling sexual harassment cases, adopt a very high level of sensitivity. And that means that in disciplinary hearings relating to sexual harassment, it's always advised to really get an external, objective, seasoned chairperson who can sit and actually listen to the case objectively without any fear or bias. Whereas if you were to take misconduct, Thabo, such as absenteeism, for instance, right? And you've got a company with 500 employees and there's 10 senior managers. A senior manager which does not manage the employee who was late could easily chair that disciplinary hearing. There's not much controversy with that. The problem with sexual harassment is that because of the nuances and the sensitivities around the subject itself, it requires a skilled person who understands what the law is, what the latest case law is, and how to also ensure that the accused has an opportunity to defend themselves, but at the same time, not in a manner that undermines or reignites the trauma potentially that the victim has undergone already.
I want to be a little bit practical, Dumisani, and with that, let me urge our listeners also to participate and give us a call. Dumisani Ndiweni is partner at Weber Wenzel. Feel free to call in and ask him questions, share with us your experiences. I'd love to hear from you because it could be that we are removed from realities on the ground. It could be that we are not touching and striking a nerve as we ought to, and you've got an experience that is pertinent to this discussion. Don't withhold it. Don't go elsewhere. This is where you need to be. Just simply call us. Feel free to remain anonymous, and I'm happy to take your calls on 011-883-0702. Alternatively, it could be that you just want to deposit a voice note of about 30-40 seconds and leave it at that without us having to engage. Most welcome to do so. Or a text message even. Also, that's fine. Feel free to do so on 072-702-1702. I'd love to hear from you. And then Dumisani will come back just after the break, and then I'll ask you the question that I had intended for you.
No problem.
Your office is more than just a place to work.
It's a reflection of your success. At Desk and Chair, we help you elevate your workspace with locally manufactured desks and a wide range of chairs to suit your style and budget. Our expert consultants are with you every step of the way, from planning to delivery and assembly. Visit our showroom in Midrand or shop online at deskandchair.co.za. Desk and Chair. Think, feel, work better.
Ready, jet, go! 2 fully paid trips to the Abu Dhabi Motor Racing Spectacular must be won in the thrilling new JetX competition exclusive to Hollywood Bets. An unforgettable experience awaits on one of the fastest circuits on the planet, with the world's top drivers battling for supremacy. To stand a chance to win, bet 10 Rand or more on JetX. 1 million Rand in cash is also up for grabs. Hollywood Bets. Fly higher with our multiplier. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
Ah, choices. We love them. Like a Jator dealer asking you, so which one do you like? And you're like, do you like the bold, stylish, head-turning dashing from 4,999 per month, or the adventurous 7-seater X70 Plus from 5,199 per month? Both. Because yes, choices. Book your test drive at jator.coza and make an excellent choice either way. T's and C's apply. Jator. Drive your future.
The Money Show.
Weekday evenings at 6.
On the next Money Show, Peter Engelbrecht, the CEO of the ShopRite Group, will take you through the retailer's financial results and the state of the retail sector. Personal finance expert, co-founder of Galileo Capital, Warren Ingram, will talk to you about the reasons why some high-income earners are often financially fragile and go broke, and earn a lot of money and still not save. Also, analysis of all the top business news.
The Money Show
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show, Stephen Curtis, is brought to you by APSA CIB, proud sponsor of the SARA Rail Conference 2025. Your story matters. APSA is a registered FSP.
702.
World of Work.
World of Work on 702, 20 minutes after 11 o'clock. My guest, Dumisani Ndiweni, partner at Weber Wenzel. We're speaking about that sensitive hot potato harassment at a workplace, including sexual harassment. How do you deal with it as a boss and as a victim? Which channels should you explore, especially if you don't feel very safe around the individuals who are meant to be protecting you? I asked you to send your voice notes. You've done so, and your calls on 011-883-0702. But first, let's take this text message, Abel, that has been here for some time. Then we'll go to that voice note. Good morning, Thabo and your guest. I know someone whose boss frequently touches her inappropriately, despite her very clear protests. The employer apparently does this to other female staff members, knowing full well that no one can afford to lose their job. There's no HR person, and there's also a fear that taking the employer on may make future employment elsewhere difficult. The reality is the law doesn't always fully appreciate the day-to-day practical implications of such situations, nor does it make it very easy for victims to speak out. Coming from Kingsley in Germiston. Dumisani?
Yeah, Thabo, look, we don't agree on taking such difficult questions.
Yeah.
That's a difficult one. Very difficult. Look, that's the reality. Smaller businesses which don't have established HR functions,
yes,
or strong enough HR personnel to deal with these sort of things, it becomes very difficult. And I appreciate the text message you received, because it's difficult for them. And generally, from my analysis of this, what generally happens is that employees end up resigning and following the constructive dismissal route, which is, constructive dismissal is very difficult to prove in South Africa. But if there's sufficient evidence collated and collected by the individual, they could have a good chance to be successful at the CCMA with such a claim. But the reality of it is that the economic market doesn't have as many jobs available for individuals at the moment. And people are scared and are hesitant to take action against their employers, particularly in smaller organizations where there is no support. And the only thing I can really think of right now is that particular individuals should collect as much evidence as they can, so that when an opportunity arises where they can find somebody they can trust within the organization, they can report it with sufficient evidence to do so.
It becomes a little bit more complicated if it's the big boss right at the top, because it means that he's also boss of HR, and things can get a little bit murky. And I'm not just creating a hypothetical situation. I'm not going to mention where, but a place where I used to work some time ago, a big boss would come through and massage ladies on their shoulders as they were sitting on their desks. And you'd see others were feeling a little bit uncomfortable. I must be careful not to mention names so that I'm not sued. Others were feeling a little bit uncomfortable, including someone who was working in the HR herself. She'd be subjected to the very same. And I could just imagine that it becomes a very tricky situation if it's someone right at the top who's got access to all your files and who can make your lives a living misery at work.
You're correct, Thabo. Usually when it's and it goes back to the issue I said that if there was a seasoned HR, it would be easier to handle this. But when there is no HR like that, and when it is somebody that's so senior, there always seems to be this unclear route for employees to follow or employees to trust. Because you must appreciate that a sexual harassment victim, one, is traumatized, two, already feels vulnerable, and three, does not trust the system or the process itself already. And that's where a lot of them end up resigning under the guise of constructive dismissal. There's also been recent cases that have developed where employees resign and launch disputes and claims and basically sue the company under the concept of vicarious liability, where the company is held liable for failing to take appropriate action to eradicate harassment within the workplace. So that's the other route. But on a daily basis, when a person has no alternative job, it does really become difficult for them to just leave their job and follow up with such a case.
Certainly. Another text message here says, "Hi Thabo, when attending a CCMA training on behavior at the workplace, we were warned about hugging between us as colleagues. You can easily be charged with sexual harassment. Does it go as far as hugging?"
Yes, I mean, Thabo, as I said to you, I mean, if I meet you for the first time and I hug you, and you just felt that the hug made you feel a little bit uncomfortable and it was unwanted,
yes,
it could go as far as that to an inquiry. However, it does not mean that every sort of form of unwanted behavior will automatically result in a dismissal.
I see.
It might result in an inquiry and an appropriate sanction for that conduct will be allocated. It might be a warning, a verbal warning. It might be some training in terms of to caution you about the environment you work in, to appreciate that not all colleagues are open-minded. Not the correct word wouldn't be open-minded, but not all colleagues are receptive to your conduct, and you need to be cognizant of that. So it varies depending on the depth of the misconduct.
Yeah, the open-minded thing was going to lead me to ask you what's going on there at Weber Wenzel that we don't know. But we'll leave it for another day. Great. Let's take a voice note on 072 702 1702.
Hi, Thabo. Please, can your guest clarify? In the workplace, people make jokes all the time. So when does it become harassment? Is it harassment from the very first time someone says something that you don't like? Or is it only harassment after you have informed that person that you're offended or you don't like what they have said? This is Tidi.
Thanks, Tidi. Dumisane?
Look, TD's query, harassment can be the very first time without you having articulated your displeasure of the conduct. Because sometimes there's scenarios where you can't really articulate your displeasure or your uncomfortability. So the law caters, and there's a lot of case law which caters that a victim of sexual harassment doesn't really have to say, I don't like that. There's various other ways to see that a person doesn't want that conduct. The way she responds in terms of physically, or he responds physically, Or sometimes what would occur is that a person would not realize that they felt uncomfortable at the moment, but as soon as they walked away and got into their car, and they just break down into tears. At that moment, they did not have the opportunity to tell the person they are uncomfortable. So harassment can be at any stage, as long as the person feels uncomfortable and it was unwanted.
28 minutes after 11 o'clock, 072 702 1702. I'd love to hear what you have to say.
Hi, 702 family. My question is, if I as an employee form a relationship with another employee, what steps do I need to take to ensure that HR knows of this? And when the relationship ends, do I need to inform HR that the relationship has ended?
Dumisani?
Yeah, so Taba, that one is, some employers have what you call a fraternization policy, right?
Yes.
Which sort of regulates internal relationships between colleagues. So employees need to check if that's there and probably follow whatever those requirements within those policies are. Some employers have adopted a sort of more free approach where anybody can date whoever they want. And it is prudent, I'd rather say, is to inform HR that we are in a relationship. It's not just for sexual harassment purposes. It's also just for situations of line management. It's generally not that you need to disclose if you are managing the person you're in a relationship with, for instance, because obviously that will affect how you handle certain situations at work. The funny thing, I'll say to you, is despite that, the Labour Court has actually said on several occasions that the workplace is not a lover's paradise or a love nest where people must go and use it as a dating pod or a dating pad. So obviously, it's always recommended to avoid relationships at work, but sometimes love needs finds you in the workplace, and it's prudent then to just notify HR of this. But even if you've notified HR and you are in a relationship, it goes back to my earlier point. You could be in a relationship with Cindy, and you and Cindy are in a relationship. Cindy can still raise a sexual harassment claim against you, even though you're in a relationship. And it's known with the business.
Very interesting. I will come back to that conversation with Dumisani Ndiweni, who is a partner at Weber Wenzel. It's exactly 11:30. With that, we welcome Bailey Dlamini with the latest Eyewitness News headlines. Good morning, Bailey.
Thanks, Tabo. Good morning. We begin in KZN, where Metro Police officers are on high alert in Guatabega and Clement following a taxi strike in that area this morning. Thousands of commuters were left stranded after the local taxi association withdrew its fleet. The taxi operators halted their operations following the impounding of 25 minibus taxis by the Durban Metro Police last week. Mourners have started gathering at the Prime Media building in Sandton today to celebrate the life of late EWN politics editor Tsidi Madia. Madia passed away following a short illness in hospital last week. Since then, tributes have been streaming in, with many describing her as a formidable journalist. And Orlando Pirates Football Club has confirmed its coach, Abdelasam Wadu, has been hospitalized after he and 5 staff members were involved in a car accident. The incident took place on Sunday evening on the R21 highway as they were returning from a match against Chipa United. Those are the headlines, this EWN and more at midday or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by the Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency. Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. How does traffic look, Amo?
Well, we've got roadworks taking place along the N12 West, right as you approach the Giluli's interchange, delays from Edenville Road. There's also queuing traffic on the M2 West. This is between Village Main Road and the Elof Street exit due to an earlier accident while traveling on the M2 West towards Amalgam. Bumper-to-bumper traffic between the Crown interchange and Main Reef Road. I'll have more updates, or rather, Karabujali will have your next traffic updates from the top of the hour onwards. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Explore the wonders of Mpumalanga. Discover the ultimate wildlife experience that brings you closer to nature. Get your adrenaline rush with endless adventure activities. Explore breathtaking breathtaking 4x4 routes or hike the Blyde River Canyon, the third largest in the world. Unwind with spectacular landscapes and majestic waterfalls. Make Mpumalanga your destination of choice. Mpumalanga, embrace the unknown, live the adventure. This message is brought to you by the Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency. Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. Visit mpumalanga.com for more information.
Aubrey Masango.
Weekday evenings.
8 to midnight.
The story of the 121 dockets that have now been returned to the Political Killings Task Force in KwaZulu-Natal. Why would Umongameli, Matamed, and Feroz Kachalia be wanting to block that? That's an operational matter. Why are the politicians getting involved? Is this not what General Mkwanazi was talking about? The politicians like to get involved in operational police matters. What's going on here? Aye, Mr. President. No. Something is hitting the water here.
Aubrey Masango.
8 to midnight on 702.
702.
Mzansi Powerball and Powerball Plus stand at 94 million rand in total. Estimated jackpots this Tuesday. Don't delay. Play Powerball for an estimated 44 million rand and Powerball Plus for an estimated 50 million rand today. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120*7529# for USSD. Panda Pusher Play. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. Ituba is a proud operator of the National Lottery.
The Checkers Hyper price drop is here. Save up to 40% on deals like Escort Bacon 200 grams any 4 for 99 Rand, save 20 Rand. Paramlat or Bonita's Salted Butter 500 grams any 3 for 199 Rand, save 71 Rand. And a Morphe Richards Digital Air Fryer 7.2 litre for only 999 Rand, save 300 Rand. Deals valid until this Sunday, only at Checkers Hyper.
One festival, endless flavor, and 2 unforgettable days of timeless music. The DSTV Delicious International Food and Music Festival, powered by Lotto Star, returns on 20 and 21 September at Kyalami Grand Prix Circuit. On Saturday, the stage erupts with Don Toliver, Questa, and Nkabi Zezwe. Then on Sunday, experience the legendary Lauryn Hill, Wyclef Jean, Lyra, and more. The DSTV Delicious Festival, powered by Lotto Star. Tickets at Ticketmaster.
702.
Health and wellness.
25 minutes to 12 o'clock. In the previous half hour, we were chatting about sexual harassment in the workplace and harassment. I love the topic so much. I thought that we are continuing with it. Alas, we are not. It was all on me. It was my fault altogether. But I'm glad that we had some interesting interactions that you had sent through, and your insightful questions always help to add flavor and value to all the discussions that we have. Speaking of flavor and value, how many energy drinks do you have in a day? 1, 2, 3, 6, 12? Are you a shift worker or a student and you rely heavily on energy drinks? Well, there could be some problems. People are saying that they may lead to heart palpitations. Issue of high blood pressure has also been brought into their argument, and dehydration being also cited as a serious matter that can follow you after consuming too many of these. This is something that we'd like to explore on our feature 24 to 12.
702.
Health and wellness.
Health and wellness indeed. My guest, Dr. Thabo Mnisi, family physician. Dr. Thabo Mnisi, thanks for your time. Welcome to 702. Great having you with us. Dr. Mnisi?
Good morning. Hello, can you hear me?
Now I can. Welcome, sir. Lovely having you with us.
Yeah, no, I was saying good morning to yourself, Dr. Thabo, and the listeners as well as the team that you're working with at 702.
Thank you so much. During the break, I was yawning, and not out of boredom, but I suppose a little bit of exhaustion may have kicked in. And I thought I reached out for a bit of an energy drink, and I realized that I forgot to bring it to the studio. And it brings us to this question that how dependent can people be on these energy drinks, and what are some of the unwanted effects that may arise from that dependency?
Yes, indeed, Bratavo, that's the fact. Remember that the body is tuned in a way that it should always seek to protect itself. So when you yawn or when you feel fatigued, you're feeling like sleepy or resting, it is not a bad thing that you should counteract with energy drinks or anything. It is the nature's way of saying the body is it has outstretched itself physiologically. You can fast food, but you can't fast sleeping. So the body will always shut down, and any forced chemical to keep it alert against its mode of resting is like over revving a car, where you'll actually kill the clutch plate. So it is not a good thing to do. The best you can do in those circumstances, if you can't rest, is to drink pure water. Just rehydrate yourself, because sometimes dehydration can cause that. The energy drinks, yes, to answer your question, there's been a 70% increase in the use of the energy drink by the youth, according to a survey that was done by FDA, Food and Drug Administration Authority. And that has led to dependence, and the main ingredient that causes dependence is ginseng, as well as the caffeine that is contained in those drinks. Actually, most of those drinks contain double the caffeine that you find in coffee. In a granule of coffee, you'd find about 2 to 8% of caffeine, whereas 1 to 3% of caffeine in coffee, and then you'll find 2 to 8% of caffeine in energy drinks. That is almost 3 times what you'd find in coffee. So drinking one can of energy drink is equivalent to taking 3 cups of coffee.
That's quite a bit. That's quite a lot.
Yeah.
Are young people more susceptible to energy drinks than the rest of us?
Yeah, quite definitely they are. Their lifestyle, young people are more nocturnal, and the body is tuned to rest in the night, in the cool of the night. So they are quite active in the night. Animals have a natural taurine, which is one of the ingredients in those drinks, high amino acids. Your wolves and your jackals, which are nocturnal animals, they have more of that, and that's why they can stay up at night. But we don't have a lot of that. We can safely use about 3,000 milligrams of it. Anything more than that would be very dangerous. Up to 6,000 milligrams damage our DNA. So the young and the youth people who want to be on an overdrive to be performing when they should be resting, it's not good for them.
Yeah, and you are talking about a very interesting concoction. I'm also thinking about individuals who mix energy drinks with alcohol. It could be, I don't want to mention their names, but this energy drink with some whiskey or with gin or whatever it is that they mix it with. What does that produce? That sounds a bit toxic.
Very, very dangerous thing to do. Yeah, we will not mention particular trade names, but I'll just say the ingredients that are contained. Certain trade names don't contain certain ingredients. For an example, the safer ones would not contain guarana. At the same time, they contain caffeine. So that are considered more dangerous would contain caffeine and guarana. The names are known. I know them, but I won't mention them now. I don't want to decampaign people's market, but caffeine would be considered safe at about 200 milligrams daily. If you look into the drink, just take note of this and look at the ingredient side. And then ginseng, which lowers the sugar. You must avoid if diabetes. Now, what happens is that alcohol itself lowers the sugar. So you take alcohol that lowers sugar, you take ginseng that lowers sugar. Both of them lead to dehydration. You lack water, you are dehydrated, you are low on sugar. So it's going to be very dangerous. You're going to be active in the first few hours of taking. Later on, when something called by effect takes over, which means the alcohol in the stomach is now moving into the blood and is going now into the blood-brain barrier, into your brain, then you become stuporous in the early hours. And then you get a very long hangover because of that. Vitamin B is considered safe. It's an ingredient in most of those drinks. The sugar at about 62 grams is what we need daily, about 250 of calories a can. And then there is another ingredient, which is an added sugar that these energy drinks would have, which is a glucuronolactone. Glucuronolactone, it also gives you an energy. It's another form of a sugar byproduct. And then you get taurine, which I mentioned earlier. It's an amino acid that boosts athletic performance and metabolism, which we said it's safe at about 3 grams and unsafe at 6 grams, as it damages the DNA. This is according to Frontier in Physiology studies that they did in 2021 review. And then the other ingredients, which include the guarana, which we find in Amazon basin in Brazil. The people there, they use it as their own herb to boost their energy. Now, guarana and caffeine together, they cause palpitation and they increase blood pressure, as you had actually said, because they interfere with electrolytes and they make the heart to be easily stimulated. Yeah. Now, the danger of this is that what you are doing, you are having energy, you want to use the energy. At the same time, your heart is beating fast, which means the fast needs oxygen itself to keep alive. And that may lead to what they call rhabdomyolysis or damage of your muscles. And that can actually lead to arrhythmia and even heart attack or heart failure. In some instances, heart arrest or cardiac arrest.
Yes.
And then the ginkgo is what is contained in others. It's a product that originates from China. Some studies are saying amongst the mice, it causes thyroid and liver cancer. They are still observing its effect amongst human beings. Yeah. And then you get the carnitine, which can lead to stomach upset and fishy odor, according to NIH. Yes. Now, this ingredient, except vitamin B, vitamin C, less than 62 grams of sugar, and caffeine that should be less than 200 milligrams. The others would not be safe. Sure. So don't mix it with alcohol. Yeah. Don't mix it with and don't mix. The best thing to do is that if you take one of those energy drinks, I would avoid the ones that contain caffeine, taurine, and guarana at the same time. Rather, take one that contains either of these, either caffeine without taurine and guarana or guarana without caffeine.
Doc,
and then drink water.
Yeah, you want all of us to go through the medical school, because when we are drinking, we are not going to be reading any of that stuff. We won't be looking at the contents and that. But I mean, I'm just wondering. But before I even ask, because I've asked people to call in, I think it's only fair that I allow them to also throw in some questions before we say goodbye, because we have limited time. Send your questions to 072 702 1702.
Good day. Divos, could you please ask your guest what he knows about BioPlus? It's not an energy drink. It's a booster. Are there any ramifications for boosters? Because they're not the same. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Thabo Mnisi?
Yes, the BioPlus would contain more of your vitamin B complexes, vitamin B12 and vitamin B1, B2, B8. It's considered safe but can lead to dehydration. So when you take it, you have to take a lot of water as well. But you don't need to take more than one a day. The problem with all these drinks, they are legally registered for use. The problem with us is how we use them. We tend to abuse them. Take more than one, you take them very fast, you take them without water. So you need to take one in 24 hours, but take it with water. Then you are likely going to be safe.
Yeah, give us a call on 011-883-0702 if you've got a question to ask Dr. Thabo Mnisi, or send your thoughts to 072-702-1702. I would love to hear from you. Do you take energy drinks during the day? How many of them do you take? How dependent are you on energy drinks for you to be able to survive the day? Could be that you are working long hours, you are studying, you've got a hectic lifestyle, and without energy drinks, you can't just really make it, or at least so you think. Have you started feeling some effects of taking those energy drinks? Please let us know. Dr. Thabo Mnisi is a family physician. He's joining us to inform us, to educate us, and to enlighten us about the effects of these energy drinks and what to do. Let's go to some of the questions that have come through. This one says, my question regarding energy drinks. It is said that energy drinks boost sexual performance. Is this true? That's number one, Doc. And he follows up and he says, and what could be the possible negative effects of having excessive energy drinks, taking them? I think you've covered the excessive part, but let's stick with the former question.
Yeah. Only the ginseng is considered to have some effect, positive effect on sexual performance, but it is not good in treating erectile dysfunction, because it doesn't lead to peripheral vasodilatation, which you need in ED. So ginseng will have. That's the one that contains the Chinese product. And then some of the side effects that I didn't mention amongst those that we mentioned is nervousness, acute kidney injury, seizures or fits, acute mania, instantaneous insanity, stroke, and fatality obviously was mentioned. So this was just to add on the list.
Certainly. Going straight to the calls. Liz, you are in Alberton. Good morning.
Good morning, doctor. I wanted to know, I've tried all sorts of energy drinks when I feel fatigue, when I feel tired, but it does nothing to me. I've even BioPlus, I don't feel any change. Somebody even suggested to me I should try Grandpa and Coke, because apparently that also gives you a kick. It does nothing to me. Nothing. I don't feel any difference.
Grandpa and Coke.
Yes, they say it gives you a kick. I don't know. Yes, they say Grandpa and Coke gives you a kick.
Liz, let me yield to the expert. The other tower is a doctor. I'm not. Let's ask him what he thinks of it. Dr. Mnisi?
Yes, thank you very, very much. She has probably reached a tolerance state. There's something we call a drug tolerance, so where you actually, your receptors to a caffeine are actually so many that even if you take all of it, it doesn't cover all the receptors to give you a desired effect. So she has developed tolerance for those drugs, or she doesn't have receptors at all for these energy drinks in her cell. Because for energy drink to work, there must be receptors or tentacles on the cells that take up the chemical ingredient into the cell itself, and then it interact with the mitochondria to produce energy. So if you don't have receptors, it don't go to the mitochondria to produce the desired energy. As far as Coke is concerned, Coke has caffeine in it, and then I think the people, when they said you must take aspirin or Grandpa, is because those are blood thinners. So they think by blood thinning, you'll be able to deliver much of it, the glycemic carbohydrates. So I'd advise her to go and check if she doesn't have cholesterol. People with dyslipidemia tend to be tired and nothing works for them, like it is in her case. So she'll need to go and check for cholesterol. You might find that she has abnormal cholesterol, and treating cholesterol might be actually what helps. She also needs to check her glucose level as well, because people who are hypoglycemic, when they drink these things, the effect is the opposite. The sugar goes down and you still feel tired.
Okay, Doc. Let me go straight to another caller, Alton in Parktown. Hey, Alton.
Hi, how are you?
I'm chilled. How's it going with you?
I'm good, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So a quick one for the doctor there. I just wanted to find out what's the effect of sports gels on medium-sized athletes, 42 years of age, not so active as in a full-time athlete, but just a medium, somebody who practices 42 kilometers, 21 kilometers, somewhere there.
Are the gels consumable as well?
Yes, yeah, it's consuming gels.
Okay.
Some are powder, some
okay.
actually, yes, yeah.
I see. Dr. Mnisi?
What is the name of the gels he's referring to?
I don't want to say the brand names, but it's sort of these sachets that you just, yeah, you sort of, they come in sachets and you just drink them when you're doing those long marathons, yeah. Somewhere in between 21 to 42 kilometers.
I wouldn't be familiar with them, but I think the callers would be listening, those that would know better, but I would say most of them that contain would need to contain sodium and calcium as well as potassium, which you need for your muscles, especially if you're going to use a lot of it as you sweat, you lose water and salt. So in order to replenish your electrolytes, then you'd use those sachets. They would contain probably some glycemic carbohydrate that actually needs your brain would need for that. I wouldn't go so far as claiming whether they contain taurine or guarana like others, but those would be what I know is normally supplements that are given for people in athletics.
Yeah. Dr. Mnisi, thanks for that. It's now 6 minutes to 12 o'clock. And I was just wondering if you have an issue with energy drinks. We're discussing those right now with my guest, who's a family physician, Dr. Thabo Mnisi. And we're just trying to find out how dangerous are these to you, and if you've formed a habit around these. 072-702-1702. Let's go to your voice note and hear what you had to say. Or it's a text that says, I see so many kids drinking NAJs, Powerade. I'm assuming this is not good for them either. So, Dr. Mnisi, what are some of the easiest signs that you can see that this is getting out of control?
Yeah, some of the easiest signs is that when it gets out of control is when a person cannot cope without a drink. Then he's developing tolerance, is developing dependence. Then it's one of the signs to say you have to stop. And the other sign is when they feel nervous if they are not taking the drink, or they feel overly nervous when they take the drink. And then also when they eat less, like they feel full most of the time when they take this drink, they feel like they're okay. Then that physiologically something wrong is happening.
Yeah.
And that is what you pick up before you pick up those side effects you mentioned at the opening, because those ones would mean that now the damage is caused.
Yeah, Dr. Mnisi, I wanted to ask very quickly, what about those ones where they say they are sugar-free? Very famous brands of energy drinks, and they would say sugar-free. Are those ones better?
Yes, those ones would be better because I know what you're talking about. I use it sometimes. It would be better because it doesn't contain the guarana and the ginseng in high quantity, and then it doesn't contain the glucuronolactone more than the prescribed amount, and hence the sugar level would be down. But that sugar-free one as well, amongst people taking insulin who are diabetic, it won't be advisable because it further lowers the sugar. So you'll have insulin and that lowering the sugar, and then you feel even more tired. So I'd ask diabetic people on medication to stay away from energy drinks.
Well, Doc, thank you so much for your time and for your insights. Really appreciate it. You've taught us quite a bit. I hope that we can chat again in the near future.
Most welcome. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Dr. Thabo Mnisi, family physician. 4 minutes to 12 o'clock.
Mzansi, your backyard just got better. Explore more for less because the Great South African Sale is coming with up to 50% off travel deals. From the breathtaking scenery to a beach picnic, camping in the wild, or the thrill of Gussie vibes, there's something for everyone. Book from 8 to 14 September 2025. Visit shortleft.co.za to book and travel later. After all, it's your country. Enjoy it, because nothing's more fun than a short left. #TravelWise Mzansi. T's and C's apply.
The team's on a roll today. Let me focus on payroll. Duty calls in the kitchen. That's why I have a business insurer that is agile and on the ball all the time on all things. I chose My Way Business Insurance, getting 24/7 emergency service and saving on my premiums, plus my business assist to handle my admin.
Visit myway.co.za or dial 0860 64 64 64 and get a quote today. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's, C's and standard rates apply. My Way. Live your way.
They've stood tall, served hard, and dreamed big. Now it's time to honor the best among them. It's Gauteng's Greatest Awards with 702, powered by Yoko. Tune in on Tuesday, 9 September from 6 a.m. when we reveal the winners and celebrate the excellence that makes Gauteng feel like home. Because every time a business wins, the whole community shines. Gauteng's Greatest Awards with 702, powered by Yoko. Let Yoko counter fuel your business to greatness. Go to yoko.com. Explore the new point of sale solution, saving hundreds of businesses time and money.
Coming up
on the Midday Report
with Mandy Wiener.
She joins us on the line right now. Mandy, hi. Good afternoon. What's coming up on the show?
Good afternoon, Tabo. So we have that breaking news out of Orlando Pirates about coach Abdeslam Ado and 5 members of the club's staff being involved in a serious accident. So we'll get you the latest on that. At the moment, the judge in the Senzo Meyiwa trial is handing down a judgment on a 174 application. So one of the accused will find out if he's being acquitted. Patricia de Lille is answering questions in Parliament today. The State Pension Fund is trying to smoke out whistleblowers. The SIU has new evidence on digital vibes and Zwilliam Kize. And, of course, a memorial starting at 12 o'clock today for our colleague, political editor, Tsidi Madea. All of that on the Midday Report.
Certainly, and that's the show that you really don't want to miss. A Midday Report with Mandy Wiener coming between 12 and 1. Don't miss that one. Thank you so much. I think we've had pretty decent time together. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I hope that we can continue on that note. Please tune into other shows that are coming through here on 702. Thanks to my superb colleagues and the great team that put this together. It's exactly 12 o'clock. Have a lovely day.
This is EWN.
Good afternoon, I'm Bali Dlamini. Orlando Pirates Football Club has confirmed its coach Abdeslam Wadu has been hospitalized after he and 5 staff members were involved in a car accident. The incident took place on Sunday evening on the R21 highway as they were returning from a match against Chipa United. The Pirates team bus had stopped to assist. At the scene